now it'd be like almost 4 a.m. in Japan, so I didn't expect to get any calls right now. Oh, you're on the same as me. You're Eastern Standard Time. Okay. How late are you up, Ahmed? How late do you usually stay up? I don't want to be like rude and make you have to stay up later just to talk. I'll probably be finishing sometime tonight around like 10 or 11 o'clock because I'm starting really early today, which I'm happy about. I think it's a little healthier for me to start early. Hey, Jonah. Jonah, can I ask you to do one thing before you pop back out? Can you post the Discord link? How late are you usually up on a Saturday night? Oh, great. Oh, perfect. Okay. Perfect, Ahmed. Let's do it tonight. When I finish up tonight, you're the next person I'm gonna call. I need to write it. Hold on. I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add a text here that tells me to call you right after. It's just my ADHD, bud. Not that you're not important enough to call or anything like that. I don't remember anything. All right, give me a second. Hold on. Where is this at? Call Ahmed. After stream. Everybody watching right now, you have to yell at me. You have to be like, Scott, don't forget. All right, where did that one go? How come it didn't show up? Where's it at? Oh, is it like really tiny? Oh, it's like super tiny. Why? I was like, why didn't it show up? That's so weird. All right. Whoa, what happened now? What is it? All white? Okay, hold on. Don't move that. All right. What is going on? I'm trying to click it. Why did it do that? It's top layer. Why was it pulling the behind layers? All right. This is what we're going to do. This is my remembrance place now. All right, so we're going to go to properties. We'll change it over. Oh, no. Why, dude? Properties. All right. Wait, the color is black. Well, so why is it showing up all white? I don't get it. Background. Select color. Black. Okay. Oh, is opacity? Oh, why? I didn't do that. Why was opacity? Call Ahmed after stream. Okay, there we go. It's like literally a thought bubble. Okay, sorry. Sorry. Well, I guess I'm not making you stay up late if you're up till 2 or 3 a.m. That's okay then. We should be okay. I just don't want to I don't make anybody have to stay up late. There's definitely not. Hey, Meadow, what's up? Striker. Sorry, I couldn't say hi as soon as you came on, dude. Like my parents called and we're just making a bunch of plans right now. And yes, Samaki, I've gotten a lot of your gifts already. I've done some research. Let's put it that way. I've done really good this year with buying gifts. People ask for very specific things, and I've learned how to hunt all of them down. Deco, what do you want for Christmas? What do you want? Meow. He's hacking? Report him. Report him if he's hacking, Maki. Uh-oh. All right. Ikram, what's up, dude? Sorry, bud. Sorry, were you trying to say something already? And I'd like, Okay, this is the most idiotic thing I do. I literally see my chat, broadcast it on the live stream, and I will try to touch it with my mouse when it's not actually a part I can touch. I have to scroll it over on the third monitor, and I'm dumb enough that I reach into my studio and try to touch it there. Oh boy. The beauty of ADHD. Okay, let me go back through and let me just make sure I didn't ignore anybody. I apologize, guys, that my parents called, but okay. Anyway, we were talking about the possum. Yeah, they sound like little demons. They have 44 teeth. Wow. 50 teeth. Wow. How many teeth does a human have? Wait, Mr. No, thank you, sir. You're being bad baby. His little paws try to reach up here and grab a chicken wing. All right, Daddy Tube. Now that you're living in both places, can you taste the additive in American food? That's a good question. There is definitely a lot of the processed food that Florida has. that America has, when you eat it, like let's say you have like one cookie and then two cookies and then three cookies, like you start to really get like a sickening chemical additive preservative type taste. I've noticed, like especially with ice cream. Ice cream is the worst. I used to think like, man, Japan's ice cream sucks. There's only like vanilla and chocolate. Like they do have more flavors, but they only have like a couple at a time. Sometimes they'll bust out like something crazy like Sakura Blossom cherry flavored ice cream, and oh my goodness. And like ice cream made in Japan is definitely like actual ice and cream. Like it's way fresher and like just much cleaner tasting. Ice cream in America tastes like it has like I don't know, it's like foam or something in it. Like it has like this like you know that stuff you spread on bread that's like marshmallow spread called fluff or puff or whatever. I feel like ice cream has something like that added to it in America. Um Definitely when I go to Japan, I probably last time I went, I ate a ton of ice cream because it tasted so much better. I didn't realize like, you know, yeah, sure, America has like a bunch of flavors, but a lot of them are just like kind of full of all kinds of garbage. I definitely really noticed that, especially like if you eat anything in excess in America, like you start to notice like an oily residue or like a chemical sort of preservative taste. Maybe it's just me after living in Japan though, like I really crave like the fresh, especially like fish. Like fish in America sucks. It's total garbage, like compared to what Japan offers you. It's cheaper in Japan, and it's just like it tastes like you're eating stuff out of the ocean. And like in America, it feels like I'm eating fish, but also I'm eating the stuff the fish was packed in, like peanuts and cardboard and stuff like that. It just it's bad. Okay. Marcus, what's up, dude? Sorry I didn't say hi. Greetings from Germany. It's night. Is it nighttime there now? Guten Abend. Wie geht's es Ihnen? Um, mein Name ist Herr Unrested. Sorry, my German's really bad. I apologize, but I'm probably just like butchering the pronunciation. Um, uh, you're up now drawing, dude. You're Ahmed. You're just like me, man. If there's like three things I'm usually doing if I'm up. I'm either doing art, cleaning, or streaming. I guess sometimes I watch some YouTube videos, but most YouTube I listen to, I just put it playing on the best little earbuds ever. These are like, I love this series. I've actually bought this 2 times. Look how tiny that little thing is. I love these earbuds. They're like some kind of Chinese made thing, but I love them, dude. They're incredible. Um, all right. So let me just catch up. Humans only have 32 teeth? Wow, I feel like we have like a million more. Remember that lady in Beetlejuice when she pulls her mouth back? I'm pretty sure that's more than 32. I'm just joking. Um, God, so possums have 50 teeth. No wonder the thing looked like a little demon. So cute though, like his big, like shiny black eyes. He's a cutie. Um, Soft serve ice cream is the go-to in USA. Oh, actually, yeah, they have soft serve in Japan too, and it is incredible. It is so good. Like, I'm glad you can't just buy it anywhere because I'd just be eating it all the time. Buy the ice cream that const cost a couple dollars more, so it doesn't have all the chemicals in them. The value Walmart ice cream. Oh yeah, no, I don't buy like those big plastic tubs. I mean, I was buying like Breyers ice cream. I thought that wouldn't be so chemical, but I just felt like the Turkey Hill Double Dunker and stuff like Moose Tracks. Is this your Thanksgiving wrap, Osaka Shogun? The Turkey Hill Double Dunker and stuff like Moose Tracks. Keep going. You want to freestyle? It's cool, man. I'm there for you. Nature nerd, what's up, dude? West Coast has better fish than the East Coast. It might be true. I've barely been to the West Coast of America much at all. I think I only made like two trips in my total life. In my total life, that's all 45 years. Oh my gosh, they're still so good even the next day. Right, Deco? Deco looking at me like you're gonna kill me, man. Hold on. Wait. Hey, that's just a napkin. Okay, let me just continue. Um, ah, my headphones getting stuck on there. Hey guys, first of all, I just want to say thank you for sticking around while I took that call from my parents. Like you guys are like super nice to just like hang out for a little bit and talk amongst yourself while I took that call. I was like really super polite of you guys. Demon City is sick. All Yoshiaki Kawajiri movies are great. Is Demon City? Wait, hold on. I'm pretty sure I'm thinking of the right movie. Demon City. Demon City Shinjuku? Is that the one you're talking about? Because, yeah, that movie is mad sick. I've seen that one like probably 2 or 3 times. And it's, hey, you get out of it. You're such a bad baby. Hold on. I'm going to capture you on camera live in 4K. I'm being stalked, guys. You see this? I'm being stalked. First a possum in the morning, now a cat at night. What you doing? Hmm? Hmm. I can't help it. He's too cute. I'm not gonna give him any chicken though. I don't ever feed him human food. Make a cat really sick. Tillamook makes ice cream that is kind of like chocolate malt. Ooh, that sounds nice. I did say hi in the chat earlier. It might give you a laugh. Oh shoot. Hold on. Good evening, Scott. I was cracking up over your stream's thumbnail looking like the latest hit true crime show on stream. That's true. It did have kind of that like indie true crime look. That's a good one. I never even thought about that. I was just trying to be like goofy. I never know what to do for like thumbnails for the stream. They make you change it every time. Well, I guess you wouldn't have to, but there's one thing I know about YouTube. Don't keep using the same thumbnail. No one will watch your stuff at all. Mm. Nicholas, yo, what's up, Unrest? Hope all is well. Yeah, things are going real good. If you guys are wondering, I was just talking about my parents, but I actually finally just now got um my insurance adjuster finally finished calculating all the costs. It's over $9,000 in damage, but they take a huge chunk from my deductible, so I only get like 6,000 of it. Doesn't that suck? And then my insurance is still going to go up next year because they had to pay me. Like what a crap deal. Keep paying and paying and paying. And then when they finally have to pay you, they're like, "Damn, now we got to pay you? Okay, fine. Then it's more expensive next time." I mean, I guess it's got to work that way. Whatever, man. Anything like my HOA is going up because they have to rebuild the entire fence around this place. My insurance is going up. Oh, so many things going up. The only thing that I made sure I did, and guys, if you ever live in Florida, do this immediately. I'm not like a financial genius. I'm not an economic master, but I will tell you, if you buy a house in Florida, lock in your homestead rule ASAP. That locks in your property tax from the day you buy your house. And so you'll never ever like it's my property tax is still pretty high. Like I'm up in the like it's close to about 3,000. But when it finally is like the year 2150 and everybody's paying millions in property tax, I'll say I don't have to pay that because I'm dead. It's the year 2150. What are you thinking? No. Um, I'm the funniest guy I know. If no matter what year it is, I'll still only be paying about $3,000 in property taxes. It locks it in. So just if you ever buy a house here, lock in your property taxes with the Homestead Act. I don't think every state has that, but uh, Florida does, so make use of it. Man, it took me a while to put that sentence together. Too much spicy wings go into my head. All right, let me Todd James Bobbitt. First of all, thank you for being a member. Second of all, have you ever been on the stream before? If not, welcome to the stream. I'm happy to see you here. Oh, I read your comment too, and I didn't even say hi. Man, I'm the worst. But thank you for being here, bud. Marcus, 11:59 p.m. That's my favorite Bible passage, Marcus 11:59. What? Why are you marking the time right now, Marcus? Is that what time it is where you are? Oh, because I asked you about Germany. Holy cow, man. Like there's me now, and then there's like me from like just 10 minutes ago who's already disappeared. Like he never existed. Oh, so it's okay, so I should have said Guten Tag. Sorry. It's nighttime here, that's why I said Guten Abend. I apologize. I'm drawing right now. Oh, Tim's drawing too. Ahmed and Tim drawing at the same time. We got an artist club. I'm filling up my room still with all my TTRPG drawings. My goal is to have like a lot of the world all mapped out. So I have the whole world mapped out, but like I want like locations, like well-known landmarks and locations. I feel like the more I draw out massive drawings of it and I post it up there on my wall, like the more concrete it is in my mind. It's not just like hovering around like all these images on one of those autistic people who see like a light touch board because that's how autism works, right? Like they can see like a big light when they're like, right? They're like Tom Cruise in what's that movie? I forget. Where like Future Crimes or whatever it is. Anyway, sorry, bad joke. I'm the worst. No, it's all good, man. I was kind of just passively reacting to something dumb. What happened? What was dumb? Are you having an okay day, Ikram? I always like think about as soon as we sign on and I see I'm like I hope everything's going okay because I know you were dealing with some rough stuff recently. So I like really think I honestly, because you guys are the friends I come to every weekend, I do wonder like what's going on in your life and stuff. And I do think like hope Ikram's okay. I hope Josh has got gonna get his new job soon. I hope like I do think about like what's going on in your lives and everything. I worried about Skeletor when he wasn't around for a while. Was very happy to see him show up last week. Make sure he's okay. I never worry about Osaka Shogun though because he's always got everything on lockdown. Tillamook. Okay, I read yours, Tillamook. Daiquiri Ice and Margarita Ice were my favorites from Baskin Robbins. Do you know what they call Baskin Robbins in Japan? Like they have it in Japan. They just call it 31. They're like, have you ever eaten ice cream from 31? And I'm like, no, robot, I have not. Explain this area 31. They're like, it is made of multiple flavors. 31, in fact. Like they literally just like they call it 31. They're like, have you eaten at 31? And I'm like, what's 31? They're like, it's an ice cream place with 31 flavors. Have you ever heard of it? And I'm like, no, I don't think I have. And then they take me and I'm like, oh, Baskin Robbins. Yeah, I've eaten at Baskin Robbins before. What do you talk? Why are you calling it 31? Because 31 flavors. I love Japan. Chat disconnected. Uh-oh. Did I drop out for a bit? I've been talking, I've been yapping. Mr. Boot, hey, welcome back, bud. What's up, Scott? What's up, fam? Can we really ask you anything? I have like a question for 3 to 4 years. I'm serious, Mr. Boot. Like you can ask me. I mean, as long as it doesn't get like insane personal, like I'm probably not going to give you my social security number or something like that, but ask away, dude. I'm a pretty open book for the most part. Nami's goal to map of the world. That reminds me of how they have 7-Eleven out there too. Did you know Japan owns 7-Eleven? Did you know that? Like they own all 7-Elevens. You've been fine on my end. That's weird because okay, I just in chat. Actually, will it show up on your end? Yeah, see how it just says that? It just went past there. It was like chat disconnected, attempting to reconnect. Reconnect successful. Mainframe, download it. 31 flavors. Sorry, I had to do a callback to that. I don't know why. 7-Eleven. If they changed the store name to 7 out of 10, it would be owned by IGN. Got him. Have you heard of Fed Smoker? Yeah, Fed Smoker. Didn't we just talk about this yesterday with Cecil McFly? I've watched a little bit of it. I haven't watched all. It's a really long series. I haven't watched all of it. I haven't even watched all of her Oni-san stuff either, but she's great. I mean, she's one of my favorite creators for sure. Her and what's the girl's name? Procrastarisa. And like instead of procrastination, her name's like Procrastarisa. What? Where was that happening, Osaka? When was this happening? What is it like being German in America? It's like being the most vanilla, looked over, fade into the background sort of white guy ever. Like that nobody ever questions anything about me. They're not I mean, I'm just like really, really basic, normal, the most waspy looking white guy ever. Oh man, that story. All right, the story of the couple that screwed me over when I was trying to help people out getting like their visa and stuff. So pretty much I was able to do work visas, for a while. I am a little more careful with this now if I ever sponsor anybody. I only did it one other time after that, and it was with a person I knew very well for a very long time. Okay, so it was back when I had first started this thing called what was it called? Like Unrest Stream Live. And I would just talk to people about like their problems and stuff like that. And one of them was like this couple that had like really wished to go to Japan for a long time, and um the the husband had everything in order. Like he had the college degree and everything like that, so it was easy to get him through the system as far as getting him a work visa and everything like that. Now the good thing was I was able to do the working holiday visa, so I didn't have to sponsor them for like a full year. That can be anywhere from 90 to 60 days. No, 90 to sorry, 90, which is like 3 months, up to 6 months, not 90 to 60. I should say how many days are 6 months? Math no do good well in brain pretty but not smart. So I did that. I got them hooked up with that, and then as soon as he started working there, he missed a day of work like right away. And of course, I called him and was like, "Hey, what's up, man? Is like the train late or what's going on?" Because I thought like he's brand new to Japan. I don't want to, start ripping into him when he might not even know how the train system works. I know he used to have to take the JR line, and sometimes with JR, like they'll cancel trains and just like never tell you. Like it'll just suddenly disappear from the schedule board. I'm not a big fan of JR line. So he's like, no, I've actually got a big problem. My wife's sick, and I was hoping you guys, me and my wife, I guess, could help me out with some of the medical bills that we're dealing with. And I was like, oh, well, actually, like, you're not on like insurance for my place, because you'd have to be here for a certain amount of time before I could put you on insurance and everything like that. You'd also have to work, I think. There's a certain amount of hours. I can't remember exactly. I'd have to have all my paperwork in front of me. There's like a lot of rules you got to follow when you own your own business and stuff like that. I did only hire Japanese people after this because they already had national health insurance and everything like that. But this guy wasn't covered under it yet. That was weird. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna take my headphone out for a second. I had this one in, and it just shouted like, "I am disconnecting" in the middle of me trying to talk. And so he's like, "Yeah, exactly. I don't have national health insurance yet, so I was just wondering if like you could loan me a bit to like take care of my wife. Medical bill is like pretty high because she's dealing with like these massive stomach problems and stuff like that." And I was like, "Okay, let's look into what we can do." And he's like, "Yeah, because like as soon as I get insurance and everything, I'll be able to pay you back." And I was like, "All right, it sounds okay." And like it's not a ton of money. Like I didn't lose like thousands and thousands. I lost like about $1,000. But I was paying like nickel and dime. Like I started out with like, okay, so she had to have I don't know what the stomach things were. Like first of all, I'm looking at them in Japanese and then trying to translate them like IBS or something like that, some kind of IBS problem. And she had to have some sort of like acid reflux like medicine. And because they weren't under insurance and everything like that, it was not like outrageously expensive. It was like the first bill was something like 30 or $40 total. And I was like, yeah, I can cover that, of course. And every time he would miss a day, like this happened over about like, I want to say it was about 3 months of this going on. So every time he would miss a day, that would be his excuse that his like wife was in the hospital. And like he would bring me like actual doctor's notes and stuff. And where I got really stupid is because he started to bring them to me at the beginning. Like he'd be like, "See, yeah, she was like in there for this," and like I looked it over, and like I mean, unless he's like amazing at forging documents, which I don't think he did. I think they were like legit, like his wife going to the hospital and him not being able to like pay for it because he was down to like zero money. Which I mean, that shouldn't really be my problem, right? Like you should have brought more money, but apparently they had come there with 2K and they had already like spent all of it on putting down their um, key deposit. I don't know if you know how this works in Japan, but usually you do what's called like key deposit when you get like a semi decent place to live. In America, like you've got like a normal deposit, right? So you usually pay rent times two. Okay, deco. And in Japan, it's a little bit different. If you get a pretty nice place, you get rent times two, but also you have to pay a suggested gift amount to the landlord on top of it. So that had blasted through all their money. And I'd actually been in the same situation before. My very first apartment I got was a pretty nice one where I had to do key money. And I think I blasted through like $2,200 like the first month I moved in, which it was only $700 a month to rent the place, but like I had to do 700 plus 700 plus 600 for key money. So like it tore through my money like super fast. And so he was explaining to me that's what he had done, and like he didn't realize like key money was involved and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I suppose it's possible. So I'm like giving him like, dripping, drip dropping money to him. And I think at first I really was paying for his medical bills. Like I was really for real helping him with this while he waited to get like his first paycheck, which would come from him teaching at my school where students would come and he'd get paid. But like how it was working is like you would rent, like how a haircut person would work. Like they don't get paid by the shop. They actually rent the area, which I wasn't making him pay any rent. They would rent the area, find the clients, bring them in and teach them there. And like he did it with like a couple people, like two or three people he found who would do like lessons with him. But I did notice I was like, okay, he's not getting like a ton of students, so he's probably not making a ton. So I understand why he needs this money to pay for this. But then it kept getting to be like more and more until like one bill was like $170, I remember. And then another one hit like 180 because she needed like some kind of I don't know what this equipment is. It's like lymph node equipment that like hooks up around your body and like compresses and uncompresses like to stop swelling in parts of your bodies. Like he showed me this like machine she needed to get, and I was just like, dude, what is going on? Like I was like, did your wife have like all these problems when she first came to Japan? And he was like, yeah, like kind of, but it wasn't as severe. I think like the Japanese diet and stuff is what's like having this happen because there's a lot of sodium in the Japanese diet and like that makes her retain more water and like you know you don't want to get too personal when it comes to medical stuff and you don't want to like feel like you're interrogating someone just for them to have their stuff paid. And like I think like the last bill I paid was something like $200 for him to get some kind of hookup for that machine where there's like an electronic thing that hooks up to it and then like monitors like squeezing lymph node pressure or something like this. I don't completely understand how all this stuff works. And for that one, he never brought me a receipt. And there was like one more where like it was another $200 or $300 and he never brought me a receipt for that one. He'd be like, "Yeah, sorry, I forgot the receipt. I'm gonna bring it next time." And because I can at least write that off as like a tax write-off, like so I kept keeping all the receipts he was giving me, and for me, paying for some of the medical stuff. Well, on those last two, which added up to about $500, he just never brought them, and then just dipped out on me. Like he never showed up again for work. So I hit a total of like $1,000 that number one, I never got paid back for. Number two, I don't completely know if what he was telling me was real near the end. It's like at the beginning, he was showing me receipts for actual medical treatment. And then, like, near the end, like, he just forgot the last two surprise, most expensive receipts. And me trying to be a nice guy paid for the stuff because he had shown me receipts in the past. And I thought, like, yeah, of course, it could be possible that you just forgot it or like you need to go back to the hospital and get another one printed. But I mean, I most likely just got scammed. He got about 1,000 total out of me paying for medical bills that maybe some were legit, but a bunch weren't. And so like, and then everything I tried to contact, like it didn't work anymore. The address he had put in his like um, application and everything like that, they weren't there. The phone number he gave me wasn't working anymore. It worked before, when I first hired him because I had to call him to find out why he wasn't showing up to work on some days. So it just really bummed me out. I remember because like I had just started my business and like it was going really well with like talking to you guys about it. I was starting to get a bunch of students, and then I was finally like out of the red for the first time, and then I took $1,000 hit on a guy who just like disappeared, and like I lost him and I lost the students. So I was just like, dude, what the hell, man? Like, why would you do that to like a brand new business owner? I don't know. It just really bummed me out that like one gaijin would do that to another one. And if I remember correctly, they were from like Canada or something like that. So like they were really used to like all medical stuff being paid for. Nothing. I'm not like saying Canadian people are scammers or anything like that. I'm just saying like this was their situation so that I understood like, oh, they're not used to having to pay like big bills and stuff for um, medical costs and stuff like that. So they probably hadn't planned ahead to like bring a bunch of money for this medical situation and stuff. Um, I'm pretty sure it was Canada. Um, well, I know they had like an American accent, so I'm pretty sure it was. But at the same time, I almost feel like, was any of it real? Like, was any other story real? Like, a couple of the receipts he gave me from the doctor were real. I don't think he forged those, but I think after a while I was just being taken for a ride. I'm not money smart, but I would have a lot more than 2K for myself if I just, yeah, I mean, when I thought about it later, I was just like, oh, like this dude's just like living off of other people's handouts. If nothing else, like I thought like, why didn't he have like a credit card or something with him? Like you didn't come to Japan without a credit card. Like, in Japan, it's hard to get issued a credit card, but usually like you can bring one from another country and still use it. Okay. You know, especially when it comes to like medical stuff, like usually the credit card company be like, okay, we usually don't work overseas, it's kind of an emergency situation. But I was just dumb. It was just me being stupid and him being, a con artist. And I remember I got like real depressed after that. Like, I don't know, I felt like just really betrayed. And like I kind of almost didn't, I think I didn't make videos for like a while after that. And it kind of sucks because like you guys are the ones that suffered for something you have nothing to do with. Like you guys didn't get the videos because I had screwed myself over by not paying attention to like all the signs that it was a scammer. I'd never been scammed by another gaijin before too, either before that. Like I never had someone like really take me for a loop. Um, I felt like we kind of always looked out for each other. So I hope that fully explains it, Mr. Boot. Like if there's more, I think they just wanted the Japan dream and saw your offer as an opportunity to land with that. Yeah, I think you're actually totally right. I think you nailed it, Mr. Boot. Um, I don't know. Thinking back on it, kind of just really like, I'm not even angry or anything like that. I'm just kind of like, damn, like, why? Why would you do it? Like, was it really worth it? Like, um, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Never saw the guy either or anything like that again. Like, never. Sometimes you pass people you used to work with before in the street. Like you think of Japan as massive, big city, but you'd be surprised. Like you work a job and you start to see the same people all the time, just walking around the same areas and never. I tried to do that too. I tried to be like, maybe if I walk past here, I'll see him or something like that. But he must have like completely lied about his place of residence and stuff like that, which easily you could do because like I know I changed my place of residence like 3 times right when I got to Japan, and you're supposed to change your Gaijin card, but like every time you do that, you have to pay like $40 for a new Gaijin card. So eventually I would just be like, all right, I gotta get a place where I know I have like a contract for a year or two, and then I'll finally get a new Gaijin card. Oh, T-Dog, you're too nice. I am definitely no angel. Um, I'd say, if anything, I'm more of a demon that's just attempting to be nice. I can never think of. I'm not really like. I'm no saint for sure. That's for sure. I've made a lot of big mistakes past in my life as far as like, um, having to learn how to treat people properly with respect and everything like that. Treat work with respect. Treat life with respect. Like, say thank you more. If there's one thing I feel like I should have done more when I was younger is like say thank you more for everything people gave me and stuff. Um, I think there's a lot of a lack of appreciation and thank yous these days, um, when it comes to the youth. They don't understand like what people are sacrificing to take care of their needs and wants. So I always try to reinforce that with my own kids. I always try to be like, you got to think about like how this was able to get to you and how this person was able to get this for you and how much that means to them. All right. Oh, why do gaijin age well in Japan? Looking at you, Scott. You're too nice. You guys are so nice. I had a student last week tell me she thought I was only 26. I thought like, wow. So that's a pretty nice compliment. Thank you. Was 26. I don't think I could get away with that. Deco, please, man. He's trying to like poke his little hands and stuff up here and reach up to grab like a wing. Um, I think I will say one thing that Japan did for me, as far as like the aging thing is concerned. Um, I looked how Japanese people they don't snack. Like it's not like I mean there's times they'll eat snacks in the office. Like someone brings in a snack like that. They're like, hey, I went to Hokkaido. Here's these Hokkaido cookies everybody loves, and like they'll each eat like one. Like one thing I noticed with America, we tend to snack way too much, and we tend to snack on like an obsessive or nearly endless level. Like a lot of the people I work with at work, like as soon as some kind of snack is handed out, like they don't just eat one that's given to them. Like they'll stand around the area with the snacks and like eat multiple. And then they're still gonna eat like normal 3 meals a day. And I just think like, oh, like it's just too much. Like I guess I can eat a lot of ice cream though, so I shouldn't point any fingers. There's times in Japan where I'd eat like well, there's like these little cups like about this big. I'd eat like 9 of them sometimes, so I really shouldn't talk. But I think Japan really taught me a lot of temperance when it comes to eating, that you should enjoy the fact that you do get extremely hungry when you reach the end of the day because the food will just taste so much better. Um, it's not that like they're saying like you should force yourself to starve out. Like for as long as possible so that like, you don't put on a lot of calories. But they do just sort of have like you eat your 3 meals and they're very small meals. Like your breakfast in the morning, unless it's like, you're at a Diocon or something like that, like toast, like one piece of toast and coffee. And that coffee's black coffee. It's not like a bunch of stuff added to it. Um, no. Then lunch is usually like a bowl of rice and something mixed with it, or man, there's some places I've seen where they like go out for a big meal for lunch, but hey, get up, stop. I've never given you any of this food. Why do you think I'm suddenly gonna like change my whole prerogative? Um, so I started to get used to that just from being around Japanese culture, that like it's considered kind of like almost unsightly to constantly be snacking throughout the day. Not to say no Japanese person ever does that. There's definitely, you know, I'm sure there's like work cultures or crowds that do that, but like to just always have like a snack with you, or like be snacking like on the train or on a walk or something like that, um, considered kind of like something that'll make you stand out. Like, whoa, this guy just cannot stop eating. What is going on? I'd also say that like Japanese, I've talked about this kind of before, where like they're really harsh on weight. Like, I think right now I would be considered like average. Like they'd be like, "Oh, you're in pretty good shape." But like even like the pictures you saw of me, probably like when I first got here, and not even when I first got here. Like yeah, probably about like when I first got back to America. Even at that weight, they would have been like, "Oh, Scotto-chan wa hontou debu." Like they'd be like, "Oh, you're kind of a fatty." No, maybe they wouldn't say debu. Debu's a little bit too extreme. That's kind of like obese, but like they'd say pochari. Like you're a little bit chubby. You need to watch how much steak you're eating. Like Japanese people think you just eat steak like 24/7, steak or burgers. Um, and they're not doing that to me because I'm gaijin or anything like that. They do that to each other. Like they are really like, "Hey, are you okay? You're like really starting to put on some weight." Like that's the only thing that they're just like really like cutthroat, like just absolutely brutally blunt with each other about. And the person will be like, "Ah, yes, you are right. I have started to put on way too much weight. It is time for me to diet." And then their diet will just be like, "Now I only eat one onigiri for lunch, and that's it until dinner time." And it's just like, wow, with the discipline. Like I remember one school I started at, there was a teacher, he was like always eating pizza and everything, and like all these like snacks and everything. And they were like, "Hey, your new job is you're going to be like the PE coach. You better lose some weight." Like I remember them like literally telling this guy that. And he just like switched from pizza and snacks and only ate like one onigiri every day. And this dude was just like dropping weight so fast that like in the next 3 months he looked like unrecognizable compared to like when I started the school. And I just thought like, damn, dude, like there's some serious discipline going on. Like, how do Japanese do it and stuff? And they're just like, "Oh well, us Japanese, we like to live to eat to live and not live to eat." And I thought like, oh, that's a good point. Japanese do kind of live life like that. I think that can really like slow down the aging process. Is if you're very concerned with the caloric intake, hydration, stay away from like sugary drinks and stuff like that. You guys see me drink Crystal Light, but Crystal Light's like only 5 calories for every like I think like 8 to 16 ounces, or this is like a lot. You can drink a lot before you go over like 5 calories. Um, so I've tried to always like learn and watch and count like what I'm actually eating as calories. As you can see now, I'm eating one of the healthiest meals ever, um, hot wings, which as you probably know is like most fitness gurus' favorite meal. So take it from me, follow my diet, and you'll look as young as I do. Let me let me get back on track. I'm missing like a ton of questions. I'm seeing chat stream by. Oh, Striker, sorry, man. Sorry I didn't say goodnight, man. I didn't know you were going to bed already. I bet you felt redeemed in a way when your other guy friend did well with the sponsorship. And don't be silly, man. We didn't suffer. It's more like genuine concern for well-being over the situation. Oh, thanks, E. Crumb. That's really nice, man. Um, yeah, I don't know. I felt like I left myself down. I felt like I'd left my wife down. I felt like I'd let my school down. I really felt like just kind of like defeated. Like I don't know. It was a bad feeling. It was a really bad feeling. But all right. I'm glad I was able to answer the question fully, Mr. Boot. Like, I'm always like, I put it out of my mind so much that like when I go back to talk about it, sometimes I'm like, why did I do that exactly? Like, why? But you can ask me anything. It's totally okay. Like, I mean, even bad memories and stuff. I think it's good to always talk about bad memories because you need to like every once in a while remind yourself, um, no matter what. Alternative timeline where Scott decides to live in Europe instead of Japan. I've been to a couple places in Europe. I have been to Frankfurt, Germany. Um, I was in Bosnia, former Yugoslavia, Herzegovina, Medjugorje. Um, it was beautiful, really beautiful area. Although I will say, like, former Yugoslavia was kind of like annihilated during the time I was there, so it had a lot of rebuilding to do. Um, yeah, people are like shocked when I say I'm 45. Um, like a lot of kids at school are like, "But wait, my dad's 38 and looks older than you. How's that possible?" And I'm just like, I don't, I don't know. Like I can't really make a comment to that because it's just like, well, maybe he's fatter than me. I'm not gonna say something like that, like Deco is naughty. Deco is really recently, he's like on a food rush. Like he can't, he's like obsessed. Kitty demands sacrifice. I like it, sacrifice. I think it. Have you said that before? I really like that word, sacrifice. I usually skip breakfast and eat a big lunch or dinner. At this point in my life, what I've found works out best for me is I do not eat until nighttime. I know a lot of people talk about like, um, oh, but if you eat right before bed, if you eat a bunch right before bed, then you sleep and the calories don't go anywhere. You don't burn them up. That's maybe I don't know. Maybe somebody's body works totally different, but for me, that's completely not true. Calories are just calories. Like you'll burn them up when you move, right? I've also been able to stay pretty active, I guess, my whole life because in Japan you're always walking. Like no matter how lazy you want to be or how, hermetic you want to be, no matter what, you gotta walk. Like you gotta ride a bike. You like have to do some sort of physical exercise. You can't just lay down. I mean, unless you want to be like a, hikikomori. But Japan's always kind of forced you to do that. So I've always stayed active enough, or like even now where I'm working at a school, there's a lot of walking you got to do. You got to walk around a bunch at the school. But for me, it doesn't feel like anything. In fact, I try to stay on my feet almost all day. Like that's one of the things number one, it looks better for you as a teacher. Like you look like you're way more attentive. If you're just sitting behind your desk and like another, the principal walks in or the vice principal walks in and you're like, behind your desk, like on your computer, like, oh, hey, what's up, guys? You have to like suddenly stand up and like go answer the door. Not me. I'm always like walking in and out of like my students, checking on what they're doing. It's better classroom management. It's better like reassurance to the kids that you're there listening to them and taking their input. And it's also just like a better monitoring situation if you are staying active and moving around the room. On top of it, I think it's safer too, just for kids if you're up moving around, because if you see an accident about to happen, you don't have to like get up from your desk, push your chair aside, start to rush over. Like, you're there right away. You're just like a couple, tables down. Oh man, I'm getting hit bad with the sleepies right now. My body's trying to shut me down. That's the only thing I will say that sucks about waiting till the end of the day to eat. You'll get like a food coma pretty easy. Um, that's why you'll probably notice like after I finish eating all this chicken, I'll stand up. Okay, another thing I will say is I always try to keep exercise going. Exercise is great just for like your mental health and just to stay like a little bit like, firm, right? Like to not start to sag all over the place. Like I still do curls. I still do 50 push-ups every other day, except I don't work out on the weekends. I always give my body a rest on the weekends. But I still do like a bunch of jobs around my house. Like I'm repainting something. I'm always cleaning my floors. You can see my wonderful shiny floors here. That's like a workout to wax your floors. Um, So I'll do throughout the week. I always do push-ups, curls, upright rows, and then the next day I'll switch to sit-ups, curls again, and military press. And sometimes I'll throw in some extra stuff like forearm curls or T raises, T extensions. Well, just to make sure I'm activating other muscles throughout the week. It keeps you limber. The one thing I remember hearing in Japan, people said the way you know you're going to die is when you can't do a squat anymore. That's when you know you're getting close to death. If you're unable to sit in a squat position and then get up from that squat position, then you're putting your body like in death mode. Like I forget exactly how they say it in Japanese, but pretty much like, you know how that like sort of hooligan sort of rapscallions who would like, sit in that squat position with their arms on their knees hanging off to the side in front of the vending machines and anime and stuff like that. If you can't sit in that position and then get up and like move around, like they say that's when you start to get closer to death. Like that's honestly something they believe. If you lose your power in your thighs of like moving your entire body up and down or moving around, getting up and exercising those thigh muscles, then you're putting yourself in the grave. And I know that sounds silly. You're like thinking like, what, why that position? But there's an entire dynamic movement of the body that makes the squat like one of the more difficult things for people to do as they get older. Like think about it. You see like really elderly people sitting in a squat position and getting up from that and moving around. Like if they do, they might look like they're pretty stiff. But in Japan, there's like a lot of people that are like really old. Like I'm talking like, 80s, 90s, who can like sit in a squat position and then like just get up from that and start moving around, or they're out there like picking the rice fields at 80 and 90 and they have to stay in that squat position for long periods of time and duck walk. I mean, that is to do like a duck walk when you get up into like your 40s and 50s like me. I mean, I know a lot of people who probably can't do it. So keep your body like active, that it can move in like all sorts of different situations and stuff like that. I feel like that's helped me stay pretty fit. Another thing is like if you have muscle, like look, I'm not like a muscular dude. Like I don't look like I have any muscle at all. But if you keep muscle that's just kind of like slightly toned muscle and stuff like that, I swear to God, it eats up more calories. Like to sustain your muscles in your bodies, even though you're not looking like super huge or like, ripped or anything like that, it's always like consuming more calories and stuff. So even if you do have like one night where, let's say you do, you finally eat when you get home and someone brings home a cake and is like, hey, tonight we have cake because it's my birthday. You don't have to feel guilty about adding that onto your diet for the night because number one, it's kind of a cheat meal. Number two, if you have that tone in your body, it helps eat away those calories or to sustain the muscle. So, I don't know. I mean, this is not what I'm saying is very, I'd say, kind of subjective to my own build, my own ectomorphic body, which obviously it helps me stay. Hey, come on, don't try to eat my food, buddy, come on. Obviously that gives me kind of an unfair advantage being an ectomorph, but I don't know. I've seen other people there though too that are like endomorphic and stuff like that. I've even got a friend out there. What is like the biggest build? I forget what that one's like called, like mesomorph. Is that what it is? He's a massive dude. He's like 6'5", was Special Forces Marine, just like built like a like a steel tube, pretty much like a standing steel tube. And he's still pretty damn fit, and he's my same age. He doesn't have like a big fat gut or anything like that, and it's because like he's got to stay active in Japan. Like it forces you to move around more and stuff like that. He's part of a motorcycle club and everything like that. He's a super cool dude, and I think Japan is. If you'd asked him, he'd definitely say like it's kept me more fit than any other place I've lived. All right. Sorry, I'm starting to go off too long. I need to get back in and grab these questions. I was so sad when it happened. Bugged me for years. You're awesome, bro. I love you. Dude, Mr. Boot, you're so nice, man. Thank you, man. Dude, yeah, anything you ever want to ask me, especially like more of the confusing stuff and everything from the past. I'll be honest with you guys, like when I started that school, dude, it was what an experience. I don't know if there's a way I can fully describe like how many emotions, ups and downs, hills and valleys, economic struggles, just like how much I had to suddenly learn to do. I don't know if I would ever I don't know if I would ever encourage anybody to start their own business in Japan again after like everything I went through with that. There's just like figuring out how to do taxes for everything. Like, I don't know. I had some really good experiences with it. It's still going now. It's still open, but my friend's running it pretty much taking any students he has and teaching them in there as like a free facility and stuff like that. And I still get the tax break for it, but I don't know if I would ever suggest to anybody to do it unless you're like an amazing marketing and business person who speaks like fluent Japanese. That's the only way I would be like, yeah, definitely do it. I think you're going to be huge, man. Um, it's not the form, it's the nature it grows. Uh, all right. Let's see. What metal bands do you listen to? Recently I started listening to a little bit of Maximum the Hormone again. I what was the other one? Ugh. Darko. Um, hold on. Let me just give me a second. Hold on. Let me wipe my hands and I'll go look at my list here. Give me a second. Um, really, that's really interesting. T-Dog says, whenever I hear people talk about how to prepare when moving to Japan, I never hear anyone talk about cardio, so much walking. God, that's a really good point. I can tell you, I have had friends. I've had at least two different friends. One friend Adam and one friend Bjorn. If I could show you before and after pictures of these two guys before they came to Japan, they were big dudes. I mean, they had like a big gut on them. They would not shy away from the fact that they did. Like they were pretty heavy set dudes. And especially, man, I don't know which one lost more weight, Bjorn or Adam. Adam was like a big, like almost like obese dude, and he lost tons. Like, I mean, he looks like a changed man after he lived in Japan. Like, I need to find before and after pictures. And Bjorn too. Bjorn came there. He's one of the friends from Unrest Teams. Super cool guy. Just started a family, so I wish him the best, man. I'm really happy for him. He's got his first kid and everything like that. Bjorn came there and he must have been like, I mean, he had like the full like hangover the belt gut, like, um, and he didn't bring a lot of money with him. Like he lived, I don't know how he did it, dude, but he would do crazy stuff like get an interview for a job and walk like 20 miles to the job. And I remember even before he was going to leave, he didn't have enough money for the train ride to get to the airport in Kansai. And he was like, I'm just going to walk. And I'm like, bro, that's going to be like an all day walk. Like you're going to kill yourself. I gave him the money, I remember, because I was like really worried about him. But he did do crazy stuff where he'd like walk 20 miles in a day just to get to somewhere and then like sleep at a hotel out in that area for the night. And then the next day walk back to like central Osaka and stuff like that. And I don't know how much he lost, but he lost a ton. He looked like a completely different person by the time he left Japan. He was only there for like, I want to say like half a year or something like that. But dude, he had like a complete body transformation. Um, yeah, you'd be shocked. Like I think the Japan lifestyle really can be like um a way to really shape you up and get you healthy. And like the best part about it too is like especially when you first get there, you're kind of really motivated to walk a lot because you just want to see the sights and stuff. And you'll lose track of how much you're walking. I remember when I first got there, there'd be days where I had off from work and I'd walk for like 8 hours straight, like to the point like my feet would be killing me. But I'd be so pumped about like everything I was seeing and that'll keep you pretty shredded. You'd be surprised. Like I know people think like, well, isn't running like what really like makes you lose weight? And it's like, no, dude, it really doesn't. Like running 30 minutes Do you know how much it like actually like takes off of calories? Like probably 300 calories. That's like 2 bananas, right? Like that's running doesn't really do it. But like if you have like long-term walking long distances every day, like that starts to really add up because it's like just so much and so many calories and so many miles on foot that it starts to actually really add up and like take away the calories and stuff like that. You're walking a couple hours every day, you're gonna start to really drop some weight. Not only that, like it's not just even the like walking every day, it's just that like you're standing, right? There's not a lot of places to even sit around Japan. There's not like a bunch of public benches. Um, you can't like just sit down in front of like a place or even like a Starbucks. Like if you try to like take a rest at one of their tables, they'll be like, "Sumimasen, kore wa Starbucks desu." Like, this is Starbucks. Why are you sitting here? You don't have a Starbucks cup with you. So what are you doing? Like, they're very protective of like their real estate because Japan's crowded, right? You can't blame them. You'd be surprised. Those little things add up and you start to like really drop weight. Now to this day, like I feel compelled to live an active lifestyle. Japan really instilled that in me. And I feel like that's one of the ways that Japan helped me not age so severely. Like I can't imagine a day where I would like lay in bed for hours. Like it's, um, I can't, unless I was like severely sick or something. Whenever I hear people talk about how to prepare, oh yeah, I already read that one. Okay, cool. That's a really good point though, T-Dog. Perhaps that's the secret to their longevity. Um, okay, so from what I've heard, and you're right, Okinawa actually has one of the longest lifespans on Earth. Okinawa is a little bit different too. You got to remember this. So imagine you have Japan where people eat healthy, they live healthy, um, and they're very active, right? But what does Okinawa have that the rest of Japan doesn't that makes them live even longer? Like their average lifespan in Okinawa, look it up sometime. I believe it's somewhere in like the late 80s or something like that. And there's a couple reasons for this. Number one, Okinawa doesn't really put up with the hustle and grind mindset that the salaryman of like, central Tokyo and like the inner city and stuff of um, the central island of Tokyo, of Japan. They have more of a laid back uh, island lifestyle, and they don't take work as serious as the rest of Japan. I'm not saying they're lazy. I'm not saying they're sitting around all day, drinking margaritas or something on the beach. Although there are guys like that. Uh, but they don't see the whole like um, live to work. They look more at the work to live type philosophy of life. And on top of that, it's very common for Okinawans to live with family. So you don't abandon your family. I'm not saying you're abandoning your family. That's not, I shouldn't put it that way. Okay, so you grow up with your parents, you finally get your own place, you move out, you marry, you start your family, your parents get old, you move them back in with you to take care of them. You don't send them to an elderly care center. And those people all living together in the same house, while it may seem cluttered, it may seem crowded, you may be kind of shocked that the smaller houses still have more people living in them. Apparently, that closeness of family really adds a lot to your life. Like that can really extend your life because I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong about this one. I don't have every fact memorized, but I believe Malta is one of the other places on Earth that has one of the longest lifespans. And they do the same thing that the Okinawans do, where they have elderly family come and live with them as they age up. Um, and it's not even about like, oh, they're so messed up with like dementia or Alzheimer's or anything like that. I need to take care of them. It's more, um, they just feel like a responsibility to be like, okay, you took care of me and diapers and then, my toddler years as a baby and everything like that. Now it's my turn to share the wealth that I've gained with you from everything you've done to raise me. So I think there's a lot of karma in that. And apparently, like, there's like, they laugh a lot more and stuff like that. Okinawans definitely have like a much lighter, easygoing personality and lighter mindset than the rest of Japan. You'd be actually kind of shocked how different a lot of the Okinawan mindset is. I'll never forget when I first got to Okinawa, we went to a mall, my wife and I. Um, there's a business lady there. She's like looking super serious. She just got off of work. There's a bar in the middle of the mall, like a little kiosk bar. She's like, I'm off work. I'm gonna get champagne. She drinks like 2 things of champagne super fast, laughing, giggling with like the bartenders and stuff like that. She passes out, and I was just like, yo, what? Like she just passed out, and like she's just still laying there for like. As we kept shopping, we'd pass by that kiosk again and again. An hour later, she's just still there, passed out. And I'm like, yo, dude, is that okay? Like, and she's like, this is Okinawa. They just don't take it as serious here. Like, it's not, you can be like that. You can go have like a nice couple of drinks, get wiped out, and like people are just kind of like, yeah, dude, time for you to chill. You worked, you finished the day. Like, they. I remember they waited till she woke up. They brought her some water and then called her a taxi and sent her on her way home. She seemed as happy as she could be, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed after waking up after that post-work, post-drink nap. It was crazy, man. And then my wife said, this is the way it is, man. Like, way more laid back, way more easygoing life out there. All right, let me catch up. I'm talking way too long on tangents and stuff. Whoa, ice cold. What's going on? Oh, okay. Actually, you're actually okay. I'm glad to see. I thought you were like just spamming for a second, but no, you're actually giving out like legit stuff. Thick thighs save lives. There's nothing wrong with thick thighs. I'm a fan of thick thighs. Um, if I don't eat fish first thing, if I don't eat fish first thing, I feel sick all day during work. Wow, you would fit in really well in Japan, T-Dog. You already live in Japan? Sounds like you do. Aren't you gonna be like on the jet program or something like that? I remember. Um, Japan never developed a decent death metal scene. I mean, they have death metal bands there. Um, okay, I'll give you this, Andy. This is my opinion. Okay, so almost any other country, death metal. How does it start? It's usually a group of friends getting together, jamming out in like a garage, maybe somebody's apartment, maybe somebody's house, maybe a warehouse, something like that. And that's because like a lot of studios aren't just kind of like, hey, we're looking for death metal bands. Please sign up and we'll host you here at our studio. But you got to remember almost everything in Japan is studio produced. There's not garages, there's not enough space that you could play loud and proud and not destroy your neighborhood with sound ordinances being completely, checked off and shut down quickly by the local keisatsu, right? Um, Whereas you look at a place like Tampa or Sweden, the birthplaces of death metal, and I don't know a lot about Sweden. The only thing I do know is what I learned from the book, the History of Death Metal book called Choose Death. In Tampa, I will say there's a lot of chances to like, have your own house, your own removed garage, your like, estate that has like a removed area where you can practice with a band and start that up. Hence, you have things like Cannibal Corpse and stuff like that starting up out of Tampa. You have a chance to remove yourself from society to enjoy this extreme music and stuff like that. There's not a lot of chance to do that in Japan. And not only that, most of the studios that do bring bands in, they want to bring them in to do J-pop. Why would they invest their money into a brand of music that is not a good return? I mean, let's be honest, death metal isn't, selling the top of the charts and coming in platinum 24/7 like garbage mainstream, boring, pop music. So that's just my opinion. There's not enough places to practice for young hooligans to prance about with their guitars and their grindcore and deathcore. And I'm a comics fan and not just a manga or DC or BD fan. So I definitely went to Comic Hunt in Europe at some point. Speaking of exercise, didn't you once mention? Yeah, I was into bodybuilding like big time back when I was in Japan. I mean, I never got huge, obviously, but I used to really be into it for quite a few years. I'd follow like Balkan cuts and stuff like that. If you go back and like look through my videos, you'll see times where like I'm like 90 kilograms and stuff like that, which is crazy huh? Super big back, as my son says. Thank you for that, Maki. I appreciate that. So yeah, I definitely was. At this point in my life, I believe after you reach the age 35, you start losing a pound of muscle every year for the rest of your life as a man. So I kind of lost interest in it after that because it kind of felt like an exercise in futility. Nonetheless, I do still try to stay fit by eating a healthy, balanced hot wings dinner. So 本当に気持ち悪い。やろうキモい。何々あなたも彼はじゃないよ。I'm more of a Decepticon. Okay, cool, man. Glad to hear you're a Decepticon, man. Someone going to Japan for the first time. Which cities would you travel to? Well, this is a very subjective question. It really depends on you and what you're out to go see, right? So obviously, I would choose Osaka first. Um, um, Osaka, Kyoto, Nara, um, Himeji, definitely Himeji, just for Himeji Castle, if no other reason. Um, where else? I don't know. I'll be honest with you, I'm the worst person to ask when it comes to Tokyo. I do not like Tokyo. I'm not a big fan. And look, it's not that I hate Tokyo people or Tokyoites. I'm just not into the crowd. You definitely need to ask somebody who's lived in Tokyo where to go in Tokyo because asking someone like me is just going to give you like negative reception. Shibuya, Shinjuku, Akihabara, go for it if you really want to. It just so much crowds. I'm not a big fan. Um, I do tell people to get okay. So Ice Cold had a bunch of stuff to say here. Very glad to have a bunch of input here. I do tell people to get a great yes. This is probably the best advice I've ever heard. Get comfy shoes. Do not wear Converse to Japan. You will die. I tried to do that when I came there. I only had like 2 pairs of shoes. I brought Converse and like I think some running shoes or something with me. And I mean, I might as well have just like thrown the Converse into a river. Your feet will die if you try to wear Converse there. No, 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 no. I'm just saying like throw them away in the river. I didn't actually do that. I'm not going to pollute the river with my Converse. I eat crazy there and still lose weight. Yeah, I definitely, yeah, you definitely can eat a bunch and still lose weight. Well, it depends on how fast your metabolism is and what age you are. Back when I was like 27, yeah, I could eat pretty crazy and still lose weight. Now at 45, I can't go so crazy. Depends where you're going. Are you going to Tokyo? Yeah, see, Ice Cold's got the same idea. Like, which place are you going? Oh, and you almost said the exact same stuff. Osaka, Kobe, Nara, Kyoto. Yeah, I'd agree with all these suggestions. Okay, so look, Ice Cold's got some suggestions for Tokyo. Yokohama, Odaiba, Asakusa, Shin Okuba. Oh, sorry, Shin Okubo. I've actually never heard of that place. I don't even know that place. Akiba. Oh, he's calling it Akiba. All right, Ice Cold's pretty experienced. If you don't know, most people call Akihabara Akiba. It's like the short name. Shinjuku, Shibuya, Yoyogi, and Harajuku. Yeah, definitely check out Harajuku just for the wildness. I have to work out or I feel so lazy when I'm back in the States. Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way, Ice Cold. Like if I don't work out for like a really long time, I start to just feel like, what are you doing with your body? You stagnant jerk. You've been given this body and now you're just gonna waste it on like coming home to eat junk food every night? No. I will say when I first got back to America, I did eat a lot of junk food. But I kind of got over that after the first year. I eat so much less bread now too. I know for some people that like really helps them out to like not eat bread. For me, I've just never made a big difference, I don't think. I hear Japanese people usually hate root beer. My son loves root beer. Like he likes root beer so much, he like bought a bunch of barks to bring it back to. Yeah, my son Kenny, like that's how much he loved it. And let me tell you, a really funny story. He brought back these two big ass bottles of Barks root beer, and we were like dying of thirst when we were riding the train back from Haneda Airport. So we open them up on the train, and guess what? They just absolutely annihilate us. Like they just explode. And that's because when you take a soda on an airplane and then take it off the airplane and try to open it at ground level, guess what? I don't know, what do you call that? Like decompression or whatever it is, it just blows up. Like we were splattered in the train, like just absolutely, Barks root beer showers on the train ride home. So we are just like this sticky, gooey, root beer smelling mess of two people like why did we open this? It was so bad. Funny though, funny. We laughed a lot about it afterwards. Good memory of him and I like being like, it's like, I like it that way, to be fair. Like what way? Hi guys, I'd like to ask, how much does a bowl of gyudon or regular ramen cost in a restaurant now? Dude, it's still crazy cheap. How much is ichi ramen? Yeah, I know for kids it can sometimes be free. It's like yeah, right? So it's like 700 yen. So it still hasn't gone up that much. And ichi ramen is like, ichi ramen's so good. So good. So I mean it's still crazy. Dude, food is still way cheap in Japan. Like it's makes American food look like it's made out of gold. Gotta stay hydrated. Oh, uh, what if I did that after? There's like beer commercials where people do that in Japan where they're like, go, go, go. And you're just like, dude, shut up. What? What? Yeah, Oyaji always does that, right? Where they, every sip of beer they take, they're like, You're like, what are you doing? Is that necessary? I do it all the time, constantly, even in my sleep. I'm sorry. You do too. You're really rude in your sleep. You're so mean to me when you're like half asleep. That's because Deco always confuses me. He's such a big back that when he hits the ground, I always think like you're knocking stuff over. And then I realize it's just my morbidly obese cat hitting the ground. Sorry. Dumb conversation. Sorry. Hi guys. Okay, yeah, so we got that. All right, cool. Most people's deathbed wishes were to spend more time with family, right? Right? Dude, family. Especially when you start your own family, like I don't know how you can't realize like how important that is to you. Like there's nothing else more motivational in life. I can't like it's an amazing thing. It's the best family, man. Like, right? Like I don't know. I know some people have like, you've got like weirdos and abusive people in your family. Everybody does. I know, I get it. We've got assholes like that on both sides of my family as well. But the family that you start, your kids, maybe your significant other, whether or not you're still together or not. But like for me, like I think about my kids or I think about my wife, and it's just like a sense of like, it's the best thing I ever did, right? And I know I'm not trying to like toot my own horn or brag like I started a family. I'm just saying like for me personally, it's like my absolute rock and island of like being calm, of like being fulfilled, of like if I didn't do anything right in this whole trip on earth, this crazy thing we call life, I at least did this. And I'm very, 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 very happy I did. Never thought I would be. When I was younger, I thought like, oh, no, I don't know if I'll ever get married or have kids or anything like that. But no. It was awesome. It's amazing. I highly recommend. Would recommend. My osusume. All right. Speaking of booze, do y'all have to go to form of alcohol if y'all drink? Mine is whiskey, though I'm not a big drinker. If I do drink, as far as hard liquor is concerned, I'm more of a vodka guy. Vodka, I feel like I can mix with anything and it doesn't taste too rough. But again, I'm not really a drinker. I'm not a big drinker. Sometimes I'll drink with my wife because she likes to drink. Not like crazy or anything like that. Like she'll have like a cup of red wine or something like that. I should say a glass, not a cup. She's not a baby. Yeah, ice cold. Like, I mean, obviously you can go for like more expensive places and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm talking about like Ichi Ramen is kind of like I don't know what you call it, like the McDonald's of ramen throughout Osaka. And I mean, like their prices are still like 700. Now 700 yen is your most basic one. You can add all these little tickets onto it, like more pork, more noodles. I always have to add more noodles because I'm still like starving after I definitely need more. I always add a bunch of pork too. I love the pork. No, leave my chicken alone. Yeah, I mean, Ichi ramen's still like only 700 yen. Um, actually, I shouldn't say that. Maybe in Tokyo it might be probably more expensive. Tokyo is always more expensive than any price I tell you. It's usually like 200 or 300 yen more, so maybe it's like 1,000 or something out there. All right. This is good, man. You guys are asking some great questions. This is a fun time. I think this is one of my most fun things to do is just like get asked random questions about it. Even if I've talked about it before or anything, I just really enjoy this. Oh, shoot, I went down too far. Uh, I hope these are satisfying answers too. I hope this is enjoyable for you guys too. It's not just about me having a good time. Uh, there we go. Got it out. Oh, that was driving me nuts. Okay. Uh, oh, there was a question you asked earlier, Timothy, that I missed. Oh, shoot. All right. Sorry about that. Guys, if I miss it, don't be afraid to ask it again. You're not like beating me over the head with it. I'm just, okay. You told me about comics. Here's a question. What new phrases and slang caught you off guard when you came back to the US? One thing I finally understand is something being at home version means, oh, it's inferior. Oh, yeah. Or like, um, I talked a little bit about this. Um, this always kind of like people have a good giggle about this. How I thought when people said something was bussin', I thought like it was like a mobile version, like it could move around. I'd be like, that food is bussin'. And I was like, so what, it's being like public transport from one area to another. The other one was, oh, cap, no cap, where I was just like, oh, with a hat or without a hat, of course. Um, I recently this thing that kids are saying the big back, apparently that means fat. Like, okay, sure, why not? Then there was a whole bunch of phrases, these like long list of garbage meme, brain rot phrases like "you are not Sigma Phantom Tax." What is the whole thing? What is it? You're not Skibbity. You're not Skibbity Phantom Tax. I had to go look up every single one. I mean, Skibbity I knew because Skibbity's even in Japan. But Phantom Tax, I was like, what the hell is Phantom Tax? And I had to go look up what the hell that was. Still pretty a useless phrase. Obviously I knew Sigma. Sigma kind of always means the same thing. God, I'm trying to think of other things people have said where I'm just, oh, Riz. That's right. I didn't know what Riz was. They're like, Mr. Ackerman, you got the Riz. And I'm like, what is this Riz? Is this like Twizzlers? Is that kind of like the same thing? Or, so yeah, I had a bunch. of stuff to figure out. I had a lot to figure out when I got back. I was like way behind on American slang and stuff like that. All right. Let me catch up. Sorry about that, Tim. I didn't mean to go past your thing. Okay, so like, yeah, if that happens though, if I do go past your question, please don't be afraid to hit me up with it again, or just be like, hey, Scott, I asked a question a few things back. I'll go check out for it. I saw a Psy live earlier. Wow, we were just talking about Psy last night. So the band I showed you last night on my like post where I was talking about North Crimson Cemetery. Who you are you calling mom? Oh, okay. You should check if she's tried to call you at all or anything. Actually, I should check too. Make sure I didn't. Okay, no, I don't think I missed any calls from her. Okay. So I showed the band that I had played in last night called North Crimson Territory, Cemetery Territory, oh boy, North Crimson Cemetery, and the guy who started that band, his band before that, he called it Black Psy. Like, what a not very creative name. Like, you've got Psy, and then you've got Black Psy. If people are wondering, like, why would you call your band Psy? Well, in Japanese, it translates like a little bit different. It would be like, if you look up like what the word Psy means, it's like an exhalation of sadness and like dark regret or something like that. Like there's definitions of it that you're like, oh, yeah, I guess a sigh could be that. Like, but we don't think of like sigh being that heavy of a word connected to like black metal. But that's cool. You got to see them. Very, very cool. I have no idea how did they come here out of so many other much bigger cities. That is pretty crazy that they came to like a tiny city like that. I mean, I don't know how tiny it is. Does Crimson Cemetery have any music out? So I don't think so. I mean, they had songs with like the old singer on the YouTube. I didn't even know it, but people found it, like the old singer before I joined. There was an actual question that I asked earlier. Is it, Tim, I got your question, right? Like I didn't miss it, I hope. Gotcha. I just figured that death metal and technical death metal just wasn't Japan's cup of tea. The average Japanese person, if you ask them about metal, they don't really know that it's even broken down into subgenres and stuff like that. Like if you even a place like Amemoto, where it's like very, alternative lifestyles and people into their music and art and stuff like that. They'd always ask me, they'd be like, what kind of music are you into and stuff? I'd be like, I like metal. They'd be like, oh, I like metal too. Like Black Sabbath. And I'd be like, oh yeah, I mean, I guess that's metal, kinda. That's not what I'm talking about. And if you try to explain to them things like, well, but I like metalcore, like deathcore, metalcore, or like melodic death metal, or they'd be like, you just like making stuff up now, or what is this? So yeah, it didn't always they don't know as many of the subgenres and stuff like that unless someone's like really, really, really like a metal otaku. I did meet one guy though one time. I have a friend named Robin out there. He's Japanese, but he calls himself Robin. I think he just likes that name. Um, and that's a guy whose band I actually went to go see, like the last concert I ever went to in my life. It was not a good band. Sorry, Robin, if you're watching this, you don't understand any English, so I don't have to worry about it. But he's a good guy, nice guy, very cool. Like we share posts and stuff like that. But when he asked me about like, so how was my band? I'm like, you guys definitely played. I didn't know what to say. Like it just wasn't very good. I don't know. I think it was mostly just like the actual mix, the sound mixing and stuff like that. It was just like bad. Just like not everything just sounded like static turned to 10. Okay, was surprised of the amount of cute little Japanese chicks in the mosh pit. Japanese chicks are cute anywhere. There's not a place they're not. I don't even like Shibuya Akiba. Oh God, I don't really. Akiba's kind of okay. Shibuya, I'd rather be thrown down Okiku's well than be in Shibuya. When I first started working for Amazon, I wore Converse for a month straight. Pretty sure it caused minor nerve damage. Oh God. How did you do it for so long? Like I, the first 1 or 2 days I was there, I wore them and then like I was in like such pain that like I could barely walk the next day and I was just like I'm never wearing these again. These are useless. Shin Okubo is basically Koreatown. Ah, so it's like in Osaka Daikokucho. It's like Daikokucho. That's our Korean town. It's got good food. Yeah, Daikokucho too. It's got the good Korean food and stuff like that. Are there any really nice smaller cities or rural townships that you know of that would be great to both? Yeah, Shiga. Shiga will always be my recommendation for that. It's got Lake Biwa. It's beautiful. I love Shiga. Shiga is like my maximum chill spot. We don't have internet out there. Um, our phones barely get any service, and there's like 4 beds in that 2-story apartment, and I sleep a ton out there. Um, I pay attention to very little outside of what I'm doing while I'm there. We do things like we visit the annual fish festival where there's like tiny little pools, like tiny little individual pools with random different fish and lobsters and crayfish and everything like that. And they'll give you these tiny miniature fishing reels where you can try to like grab them out of there and see if you can get them before it breaks and stuff like that. Um, we would go down to Lake Biwa and like find little frogs and tadpoles and stuff like that. God, what else? Buy a bunch of snacks from like the only Family Mart for like miles out there and bring them all back and then like find some really bad Japanese variety show and sit there and laugh while we eat a bunch of snacks and just be lazy. That's my place, Shiga. Shiga is my ultimate relaxing place. When I think of Shiga, like a calm comes over me, like just kind of like, Shiga. I've never slept better in my life. It's just nature and like nothing else to really do other than just like enjoy that atmosphere out there and relax a bunch. Gotanda, Tokyo is low key and a nice area if you get the chance. I've never heard of that. That's interesting. As a 29-year-old, I need to keep my fitness up before it becomes harder as I grow older. Today, I played football/soccer for the first time in months. Yeah. Hmm. It's hard though. Like I get it. It's not always easy to be motivated enough. Like even me, I fall out of practice every once in a while. Like when I was in Japan over the summer, I didn't work out at all. Like I got really lazy and just like gave up all my working out for 2 months. And then I got back here and I had been eating snacks like nonstop. Um, when I was in Japan because I had missed all my favorite snacks and favorite foods out there while I had been in America again. So I probably put on like a lot of weight. I probably put on like 5 to 10 pounds or something like that. And then got back. I was used to my American food. Nothing too exciting to dive into again. So I switched back to only eating at nighttime. Dropped a bunch of weight again. And then after I dropped that weight, that's when we had the hurricane. So I actually like lost more weight than I wanted to. Because I was like straight up starving some days. 'Cause I just couldn't cook a nice hot meal. So I probably dropped like 15 pounds or something like that. And then after that, I was like, all right, you need to get a little more serious about your working out, not just doing push-ups and sit-ups. You need to get back into the weights and stuff like that. So this year, I actually brought my weights to school. And when I have my planning period and I'm reading stuff over, I just put like a weight in my hand and I'm lifting it as I'm reading my teacher's notes and stuff like that. And people always think like they have to like put aside a time for the day, like that you have to be like, all right, for 1 hour every day, I'm gonna work out. It's like, no, you can just break it up when you have like a little bit of free time here and there. Um, unless you're like super serious about like you want to get like super shredded or ripped or like build big muscle and stuff like that, just adding a little bit of exercise every day to like little breaks you have here and there, that'll keep you pretty toned. Like I said, it's not going to make you some sort of breakout fitness guru who's going to look, shredded with a six pack and everything like that, but it'll keep your body like, pretty nicely toned. And I think that's one of the biggest problems with people and working out is a lot of people imagine it as like a section of the day you got to put aside, and then they dread that all day. Like, oh man, I still haven't done my workout. But let's say for like 1 minute you just do 25 push-ups, and then maybe you have like a 5-minute break in between something, like nothing's going on, and you just drop down and do another 25. You just did 50 push-ups for the day. And you can do that every other day, and you're getting yourself like 150 push-ups for the week. That'll keep your, upper body pretty toned, and then keep your core strength by doing like sit-ups. I do 30 sit-ups every other day, and I make sure to mix it up with like, going side to side and stuff like that. Oh no, I got the hiccups. I think it's going to go away. I feel like it went away. All right, good. I don't have to go get a big glass of milk. And and then grab yourself like a couple little weights. It could even just be 2 milk jugs filled up with water, and do like, arm extensions like this. You don't want to put a ton of weight on your shoulders when you're lifting out like that anyway. That'll keep your shoulders nice and shaped. And, there's other stuff you can do. Do like lunges, do squats and stuff like that. You can use your own body weight to do stuff like that. I think people make a big production of like, I got to get a gym membership. I got to get all the workout clothes. I got to put aside this time for the day. Why inhibit yourself by like putting all these like I have to type things in front of working out? I don't change my clothes to work out. I just work out in what I'm wearing like right now and stuff like that, what I wear through the day. You need to add it into your day in a way that makes it manageable and not feel like a task that you have to put aside. I think the biggest problem I see a lot of people do is think they have to make this like 1 to 2 hour commitment every day. And it's like, no, you really don't. If you just do a little bit of working out 5 days a week, you're going to stay pretty toned. And don't start out with like a ton either, like slowly ease yourself into it. Like, and give yourself like a 15-minute workout. That's just 15 minutes a day, like, and then slowly add on to it. You can get more and more toned. I definitely want to buy a pair of Tabi shoes when I go to Japan. I've always loved the ninja shoes, and I have weird shaped feet that I would rather try them on in a store in person. Those are always really interesting to me. There's some like of the construction worker stuff that they do that I never fully understand, and I need to research it more. There's like these giant baggy construction pants you can wear, and then they have the special Tabi shoes too. I think those kind of make sense because there's like points where they have to walk on kind of narrow walkways and stuff like that, and I think those shoes would be better for it. But I never understood the like. Maki, do you know why? You ever seen that? You know how sometimes construction workers, like there's some that have like those super, super baggy pants that almost look like ninja pants, you know? Why do they wear those? Yeah, I don't know either. My son doesn't know either. He's seen it and he still doesn't know either. So I didn't have like any construction worker friends really. So I need to ask them that at some point. That's a really good point. Osaka is the best city in Asia. Hands down. Agreed. 100%. Daddy tube for the win. Yeah, I love Osaka more than any other place. I like to visit all over Japan. I like to see it. I like to tour and, do stuff like that. But Osaka will be home forever. When I think of Japan, Osaka is what enters my mind. Vodka guy, nice, Scott. That answer kind of surprised me in a nice way. Really? Huh. Nah, not the brown liquors. I'm not a big fan of. I can't really get over their taste. Like if it's whiskey, it's got to be like pretty decent whiskey. Like, like a really aged Suntory whiskey or something like that, and then I can kind of handle it. But for the most part, especially like rum, like not a big rum fan. Ichiran is the baseline. Same, I get extra noodles and pork. Yeah, I always got to get extra noodles. Yeah, you're making my mouth water, and I'm even eating at this time. I'm pretty certain it's more in Tokyo. Oh, yeah. Everything. Just expect everything. Any prices that I ever say, if you're thinking about Tokyo, always add a couple hundred yen more on it. Oh, long lines. God, yeah. Yeah, I should have said that. Yeah, with Ichiramen, like, yeah, there's gonna be some times if you go at certain times, like the line might be long enough that you're out in the street longer than you are inside eating. This is an awesome man sitting here playing World of Warcraft and listening to Unrested and being able to communicate with you after like 10 years. I feel young again. Dude, that's awesome. And also that sounds like super like comfy. Playing World of Warcraft and listening to a YouTuber, that sounds like super comfy. That's kind of why I've started doing this again, like started streaming and stuff and like playing video games and stuff with my viewers. I honestly, unless it's a really good single player game, I can't get like that locked into like long-term games anymore unless I'm here with these guys hanging out, talking and enjoying the company that I have while I'm playing the game at the same time. It honestly feels like that old couch co-op feel you used to have when you were younger. Ah, God, I miss that. I'm sure you do too, Todd. I'm sure you too have like the great memories of you go over to your friend's house and stay up till like 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning playing the same damn game on repeat forever, getting like way too excited about tiny things in the game that you find or figure out or beat. And it's just you and a friend, one game and a couch. And simple, um, easy, very attainable, but a absolute delightful ritual nonetheless. Got that bussin' riz for real, for real. Yummy. Ugh, super hungry still. All right, I'm eating chicken wings. Why, you still hungry? I can make you more bacon or something like that if you want. You want more bacon? Okay. All right, when I finish these last three wings, I'll go up and make you some bacon. When you see me get up, remind me again, okay? All right, all right, all right. The Sigma stuff is cringy. Yeah. Like I hear these like motivational things about like to be this type of man, you need to be stoic and not let anybody get to you. I tell you what, you know what the right type of man is? Like the right way to live your life as a man is? However the hell you're living it right now. And all this stuff I see online about how to talk to ladies and stuff, be a lady. You know how you talk to ladies? I got this crazy 411 of information. Talk to them like any human. There's not like a certain special way you talk to women or anything. Like they're humans like you. Just talk. If you need to ask the question, how do I talk to a human? You've got bigger problems than how to talk to women. I don't understand all this bullshit online stuff of like, women seek a stoic man who is economically stable. And no, you can't just like make a blanket generalization about every woman or every man. The Sigma stuff, yeah, it's so cringe. Andrew J, what's up, Andrew? I know we already talked about healthy living, but I also wanted to ask if Japan puts a lot of preservatives in their food. No, they do not. Especially the coloring thing. Japan is very strict about food coloring. So much so that you don't have a lot of choice of foreign cereals because they do not like the fact that America uses insane amounts of coloring in their cereals. So there's a lot of candy and cereal you can never get in Japan because they're just like, what is that dye? Never heard of it. And it's not entering the country. Do you live in Japan? I live in Japan during the summer, and I live here in America during the winter. Mm. Finnish metal bands. Hmm. Let's find out if I do. I know like a lot of metal bands, but like I don't. Let me check. Let me see. I'm gonna type in because sometimes I don't know where the band is from. Finnish metal bands. Children of Bodom. Oh, I love them. Nightwish. I really like Nightwish. Fintroll. I'm a big fan of Fintroll. I like them. Oh, Sonata Arctica. I didn't know that was even Finnish. I like them too. Yeah. I'm seeing these other ones, but some I've like never heard. Probably the ones I'm telling you are like, yeah, of course you know those are like the most popular. You suck. Impaled Nazarene. I did not know that they were from Finn. Him? Ugh, I'm not a big fan of him. Fear of Domination, Shade Empire, Leningrad Cowboys, Diablo, Barren Earth, Pressure Points. Yeah, so I guess I liked some. Is that okay? Do I get to stay in the metal club? No, I mean like there's great metal from all over around the world. What's the one Indian one I heard recently called Bloodywood? Like that one's pretty good. I just traveled there a ton. Oh wait, were you asking? Oh, you were asking ice cold, not me. I was like, why is he asking me if I live in Japan? Like, I thought most people know. Okay, sorry, Calmonto20. Oh, first of all, Calmonto, welcome to the stream. I've never seen you on here before, so I'm very happy to see. I'm always really happy when I see new people. Makes me very excited. Hogo, welcome back. Were you ever fat? Yeah. The worst I ever got to was I got up to be like 90 plus kilograms. I was really, when my wife got pregnant is when I got to my fattest ever. She was like really sick on her first pregnancy, and she had like a weak uterine layer, weak uterine wall. That's what it was. So she couldn't move a lot. Like she was actually ordered to like lay down a bunch by the doctor. And I think I only worked part time during that time, so I just took care of her 24/7, just getting whatever she wanted. Like you know how pregnancy um is for women when they like have different sudden they're like I want pickles and rice and you're like okay I'm gonna go get pickles and rice. I did that, I was the guy who would like run out any time of the night she wanted it, and you got combinis everywhere, so it's not like super hard. So but I also ended up laying around with her. We had this giant fold out couch. She couldn't go up the stairs anymore, and our only air condition worked downstairs. Our upstairs one was broken. So we had this fold out couch that we opened up with the TV next to it. And I had just gotten the PS3. It had just gotten out. And that's how long ago this is. Yikes, 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 yikes. And I laid with her, taking care of her in that bed for, that was like 9 months, right? She was super sick at the beginning. It was her first pregnancy. Like she had really bad morning sickness for a while. She could only eat like certain foods, or she'd get like super upset stomach. She couldn't move around a lot because she had a weak uterine wall. And so anything she needed, I'd get up, I'd get it, but then I'd lay right back down with her and like, rub her back or whatever she needed to like start to calm down and relax and like get her sleep and everything like that. I just try to keep her as cozy and bundled up and relaxed as I could to keep her in a good state. And that I think I did a pretty good job. I think if you asked her, but I got super fat during that time because I just wasn't moving much. I wasn't moving. Every time she'd want a snack, I'd be like, might as well get myself something too. And I was up to like 90 kilograms, 90 plus probably 94 kilograms or something like that. It was a lot, dude. I look back on those pictures and all I was wearing all the time. I look back on it and I was wearing like this basketball jersey I had for Slam Dunk. I had just bought it at like an anime convention for Vagrant and Slam Dunk. And I was wearing that all the time, and I was wearing like these really baggy shorts because like that was the only clothes I had that fit me because I had gotten so fat. I was really fat during that time. I'll find a picture sometime and post it. I met Hana Fubuki, the YouTuber Hana Fubuki. And I remember when she met me, she's like a really skinny, tiny girl, and she's like, "Wow, you're really big." And I thought, like, "Am I really big?" And then I remember I looked back at that photo, and I'm like, "Yeah, I was like the, it was like we looked like the number 10 next to each other. Well, she's number 1 and I'm a 0. It was bad. 夏、一番静かに海. Oh, that's the name. Okay, I thought you were just like suddenly talking to me in Japanese. So okay. Summer is the quietest. I haven't seen that. Yeah, so I was really fat during that time. I got like really fat. What did I do to finally lose weight? I think I started running and everything again. Man, I was so fat, dude. I was so fat that like I remember like it was the first time I ever had to deal with like a rash from my thighs rubbing together. I was really fat. Lately whoops. Wait, what did I do here? Oh, actually, you know what? I need to check something real quick. Control Alt Delete. I didn't check this before I signed on. What happened to Task Manager? Oh, there it is. All right, I gotta make sure because I'm seeing chat dropped out again for a second. I gotta see if Lenovo Vantage is on. No, is it not? I hope not, because that thing like annihilates my connection. And it's I've got to eventually figure out how to strip it straight from my Nahimic. Nahimic's not too Vantage is on, isn't it? Lenovo notification. Hyper-V. Oh no, I don't think it is actually. All right, sorry. I just have to check if that thing's on, because if that thing's on, it really interferes with your like online connection. Oh god, man. Okay, it looks like I'm okay. Local? No, that's not it. What's this Windows 32 thing? I'm gonna delete that. I'm just joking. Crystal Light should sponsor your ass, bro. Yeah, I don't think I'm the main marketing. 45-year-old white tattooed guy is probably not like what they imagine. It keeps me really hydrated. I just put like a little bit of powder in there, and I don't get that sort of like iron type taste that a lot of like Florida water has, where it feels like there's like some kind of nasty aftertaste that a lot of because we don't have like spring water or anything like that out here in Florida. It's just like, strained through distilleries and stuff. It's just it's not the best tasting water. So just add a little bit of Crystal Light to a big old gallon of it, and then you stay nice and hydrated through the day. Very easy to drink. All right. Make it fit your lifestyle. Yeah, exactly. That's all people need to do. Like, don't make. I think too many people are like wooed by these like exercise gurus. Are like, "What's up? You want to look like me? Let me tell you how I do it. For the first 23 minutes, I do my warm up, and that's just my warm up to make sure I'm ready for the day. To get ready doing my 2 to 6 hour workout." And it's like, nobody has time for that. Like, your life pays for that lifestyle. Like, because you look really good and you have these amazing genetics, okay, your workout is paying for your whole entire lifestyle. That makes sense, while you can rotate your whole life around this workout you show everybody. For the rest of us, we're normies, okay? Normies don't really want to work out. And when we really do, it doesn't mean we want to keep doing it for a long time. We think like, yeah, I'll work out for 3 months. I'll get the weight off, and then I can finally be lazy again. Oh, big surprise, all the weight's back. There needs to be a routine that you can do that fits into the notches of your day. So, like, let's say you have an open spot here, an open spot here, an open spot here, and that's when time sort of calms down for you all throughout the day. Instead of just being like, let me shove that like one thick hour of doing an entire workout where I like work out every single damn muscle in my body, you need to like make it fit more like gears where you're like, okay, here I can do a little bit, here I can do a little bit, here's another 5 minutes. Okay, I did like 3 or 4 different exercises for the day. and worked out a couple different muscle groups. Don't worry about it being like, Meathead Ryan says that I gotta go ahead and do this 1 to 2 hour workout where I extensively work out this entire muscle mass here and this one here. Is like, unless your goal is to like really be like a for real super ripped bodybuilding, like, there's some kind of goal you're going for, right? I'm telling you, it's more than anything, more than any workout you will ever do, more than any amount you'll ever run, any cardio, any weight you'll ever lift, to see your muscles, it all happens in the kitchen. All right? Eat less, move more. That's the only thing that really makes muscle appear. There's none of this like, I want to spot exercise my abs right here, so I'm just going to only do ab sit-ups and not worry about, losing weight other places, because I think like, my chest and my shoulders are kind of big, so that's cool, but I just want to get like just shredded right here. There's no such thing. Like I just want my arms to be huge, so I'll just only work out this and then no. All right, to be clear, I don't have like freakish feet. They're just short yet wide. Oh, I didn't really think you had freakish feet. uh, trying on shoes in a store is much less frustrating than ordering them on the internet and returning them. Oh, I see. Bryce, what's up, dude? Welcome back again. Mr. Scott. I don't know if I like Mr. Scott. It sounds like I'm in Japan again. Mr. Scott. Scott sensei. Tasukete kudasai. I think I might resubscribe to World of Warcraft for fresh WoW Classic servers. I don't know, last time I played, it felt really lonely when I played WoW recently. Like, I played not too long ago, probably back in, I don't know, it felt lonely. I just was like doing dungeon runs and just like, it would be this big group where you just have to like sprint through it over and over again to collect certain things. And I just, sometimes if I wasn't fast enough, they'd kick me out. And I just felt like this is so lonely and like kind of depressing. I quit. I think I might, oh no. You know what I would play again if I had other friends that played it? EverQuest 2. I'd love to play EverQuest 2 again. Phil Anselmo just formed a black metal band called Scour. Sounds like a cleaning product. I was never big on Pantera, but in my opinion, it's one of the best things I've ever heard. Really. All right, Scour. I'm going to enter it in, dude. I always check out the music people suggest, so even if I do think it sounds like a cleaning product, I'm going to give it a chance. Scour. Scour power. All right. Man, that guy from Pantera is still alive. Holy crap. I guess my son asked me today, when are we going to play WoW again? Hey, yeah. I always feel bad about that when my son's still really into a game and wants me to play and I just can't. I'm like, I don't want to play that game again. But I love it when him and I do find a game that we love to play together. Like, we still play 7 Days to Die a few times together and stuff like that. Like, actually, sometimes for like a few days, actually. Every once in a while, we hit a game again where we both connect and we're like, oh, this is fun again. We're going to do this for a while. Always super fun when I play with my kids. Way more fun. Oh, that's right. I turned the stickers and everything back on, Tim. Now you can do this. I don't know. When I lost monetization for those couple of days where they had to wait for my W-9 form to be filed, they turned off like super chats. They turned off everything, and you have to manually go in there and turn it all back in again. I don't know what the hell's up with that. So now you can use all the stickers and everything I gave you guys. Arrested. It's all about being yourself, and women will appreciate. Just don't be a douchebag. Yeah, exactly. Ahmed, you got it. Just be yourself. And obviously, golden rule: treat others as you want to be treated, right? There's no magic word. There's no like all these dumb things I see about. Let me tell you about the right things to dress up in, and make sure you say these words. Let ladies know this and this, and create a distance. And it's like, dude, if they don't like you for like what your natural personality that you don't have to put on an act for is, they're not gonna like you. Like it just that act is eventually gonna have to drop. Just be yourself. You're perfect just the way you are. Don't let anybody tell you anything different. Unless you are a real jackass douchebag and then change. Like, wake up. So you're a snowbird, but instead of going north, you swap between countries. Yeah, kinda, yeah. Although, God, I don't know who the hell would want to, like, I don't know if I would suggest going to Japan for summer. Summer in Japan is pretty, ugh. You're in abroad forever for an American to use killer. Yeah, yeah, it's really hard to switch back. Like Celsius to Fahrenheit, that was pretty easy to flip back to, but I really got stuck on kilograms after living there that long. And now if I use pounds, I'm like 2.2 times. I'm just like, oh God, now I'm stuck on kilograms. Well, now I just freaking went too far to the bottom. Oh, Alejandra's here. That's good. I'm glad to see that. What's up? Getting big together is a sign of true love, Scott. Thank you, Alejandra. That's very nice of you. Is your wife pregnancy where your pickle cucumber? No, no, no. I love pickles since I was a little kid, man. I love pickles. Also, when I say pickles and rice, like there's actually tsukemono is a kind of pickled vegetable that people eat with rice in Japan. It's actually really quite good, very crunchy and very delicious. Right, Maki tsukemono? Yes, Father. I love the conversations we have while I'm playing on my phone. That's great, Maki. You didn't notice anything. Um, you've been a lurker, Andrew. You've been a lurker for almost a decade. Oh, dude, man. Thank you. Well, thank you for joining, man. Like, never be afraid to come on in and ask me anything. If there's one thing I want people to know, it's just that I'm an open book. Like, I'm not here to gloat, be egotistical, or feel I'm a bigger or better or above any question. I'm I'm here to pretty much hang out like we're friends, man. That's all I want to do. It's fun. Um, assemble the chariots. Hold on. I like Children of Bodom a lot. Like that he's really talented. Um, assemble the chariots. Hold on. Okay, so scour and assemble the chariot. Where's my music collection? Ah, so we've got scour and assemble the chariots. Okay. Here's my full list so far. We've got Worm Witch, Shimokitazawa, Jiluka, Habak, Fall of Afrafa, Lustmord, Scour, Assemble the Chariots. It's fun. You guys always give me some great bands. I always check all these out after. Sometimes I go to sleep listening to these. I listen to a lot of music before I go to bed. That's my favorite time. Maybe not like super heavy metal stuff though. Dang, he's still eating chicken wings? Yeah, man, that guy never stops. One day I really want to be interviewed on Hot Ones. Could you guys hook me up with that? I don't really care about the questions or the fame. I just want to eat the chicken wings. And I like really hot sauce. So I want to see like how it tastes. I'm like, Unrested, you're famous for being a mid-level early 2000s YouTube creator. Now that you're completely irrelevant and barely anyone watches you anymore, what advice would you give to other YouTubers? Since you're an artist, what do you think slash feel when you see AI can create images in just seconds? I mean, it doesn't look human. I mean, it just doesn't look, it looks kind of just like garbage. Like, um, I mean, it's the equivalent to like really crappy old Trapper Keeper art. You guys remember Trapper Keepers? But it just looks bad. Like, it's just not, there's, I've definitely, there's still human made art that I see these days where I'm just like, damn, that is so amazing. You know, I see like a new Mark Riddick work or something like that. I have yet to see um, any artwork made by AI that I'm just like, holy crap. I mean, like, especially like when it comes to like character work and stuff like that, it still can't get feet and hands right. So, and like, look, I know maybe one day it's going to get like incredibly good where you're just going to be like, wow, what's the point of humans making art anymore? But until that day, I'm still going to be like, yo, why your hands look like pretzels? I have an art teacher question. Does it bug you that the paint that they teach people color theory with is like a dark medium blue, a cherry red, and a mustard yellow instead of cyan, magenta, and yellow? Um, mm, I don't know. I feel like, but I mean, there's like different types of color wheels and stuff like that too. Like there's ones that get like way more complex. There's ones that have way more shades. There's for me, not so much. I think I just the frustrating thing for me is I feel like sometimes the color wheel and color theory gets so into shades and different like levels and stuff like that that they a lot of teachers I feel like forget to teach kids the fact that the contrast in colors exists to work in the same way shadow works with black and white. And I feel like that should be the main concept to teach far before you get into like, well, there's not just brown and tan. There's one color called Prima Dunes, and there's five different cadmium yellows. And it's like, yeah, we can get to that later down the line, but can we just like show kids how like combining these two colors is the equivalent to just doing black and white? It can make stuff pop out so much more that they would like shock them how much definition and value they can put into their drawings by having these colors on the opposite side of the color wheels contrast. Like I feel like that's way more important to teach kids first before you get around to like there's 50 variants of blue. Oh, okay, great. Have you ever heard of 7 day? Yeah, of course I heard of 7 Day Adventists. I went to school with people who are 7 Day Adventists and stuff like that. Um, I have a smaller. Is it? What is it? It's fine to ask that question, Seek. I don't mind. And by the way, welcome to the stream. Is it uncommon for people to hear about 7 Day Adventists and stuff like this? I've heard about them just as much as like Jehovah's Witness and stuff like that. Like, is that like it's more rare in other places or something? I have a smaller construction company here in Japan. Oh, interesting. I just asked my Japanese worker about the puffy pants. Dude, thank you. You can finally answer this. It's easier for climbing and sensing wind direction. That's why it's tucked into ninja boots. Dude, Daddy Tube, thank you, dude. Whoa. I never thought about that. Totally makes sense. That's so interesting. Wow. Do you, hey, okay, I got another question for you then, Daddy Tube. Have you ever used the air condition jacket that has like the built-in air condition on it? Does it really keep you cool during the summer? Like, does it really feel like your body is staying cold? Like, is it worth it? I never bought one of those. I almost bought one time, but I was like, I don't know if this really works. Is this serious? WoW is a bit toxic for sure. Just gotta find a guild. Oh, WoW is a bit toxic for sure. Ah, yeah. Good. Maybe it's my cultural programming, but when you say Mr. Scott in an accent like that, it sounds like a movie villain addressing the hero. Mr. Scotto. Oh, and the same with temperature. If you're gonna take a rec from me, forget Scour and check out Dodstr. Dodstr. Dodstr with an umlaut. Okay, got it. Got it, Bryce. Will do. All right. Dubstep Rock God. Hey, man. Loved your stuff for a long time. How do you feel about America's elections? We talked about this. I kind of promised everybody I wouldn't get back into like election talk and stuff like that. Let me tell you, Dubstep Rock God. Check out my video called "The Situation with Unrested." Okay, I pretty much go over it there. I just want to refer you to that. I don't want to get. I promised a lot of people that this is like chill time. This is like we all chill, we all relax. And if I get into that stuff, it kind of deletes chill time. I totally okay question to ask. I love you for asking it. Thank you so much for being around for so long. Check out the video. It's only like 1 or 2 days old. It's called "The Situation with Unrested." And I pretty much give my full, like everything I think about it. I think you'll find it pretty easy to connect with. People laugh at my brutal honesty, especially Japanese friends, when I tell them that I am a very boring person. So if you want to have a good time, dodge me. And they start laughing. Yeah, that's pretty funny. I mean, that is kind of a funny. I like that introduction though. Um, when my wife would always tell people about like my lifestyle, they'd be like really shocked. Um, like your husband with the tattoos and like the crazy hair, like he's a big party guy, right? Like really big into like bars and clubs and stuff. And she's like, "Are you what? No." She's like, he'll stay at home drawing for like 8 hours on his day off or like play a video game until I finally tell him to get off the computer. She's like, he's like a total homebody. And people are like, what? Really? That guy? She's like, yeah, he's just like a nerd. And they're like really shocked. Yeah, dude, that's me though. Even when I was younger and stuff like that, I had like in my like early to like mid 20s, I had like a little bit of a party spirit for a bit, especially when I got to Japan because it was just kind of exciting. It was such a new and weird area, but I honestly feel pretty uncomfortable at parties for the most part. Unless I know every single person there. I'm just not a party person. Small get togethers with friends, that's fun. Big giant party full of a room full of people I've never met before, no thank you. Not interested. Feels weird, feels awkward, feels uncomfortable. I'm not gonna walk up to random people and I guess I can do that. I'm at an age now where I can like walk up and introduce myself to anybody and talk to them. I'm not afraid to do it, but do I want to do it? Oh, really? Um, you know, if I'm at a business situation where I need to be, outgoing and extroverted, I easily can put that mask on, but it's not true of me. I can always do it in a job setting because it's like, well, this is my job. I got to do this. Like, so I can easily convince myself to go talk to anybody. But I'm not a type of person who wants to like get out and meet like a bunch of people or anything like that. I'm not interested. Especially after I had a family too. It's not that I'm like misanthropic anthropoid who, disdains all of people and mankind. I'm pretty happy with the group of friends I have. I'm pretty happy with, um, what I have to keep me comfortable at home, and I'm very happy with my family. Like if a friend asked me tonight, said like, "Hey, you want to come join me to a party with like my friends hosting at this place?" Or my son said, "Hey, do you want to stay home and play video games?" I'd definitely stay home with my son and play video games over going with a friend to a party full of people I don't know. Like that's for sure, man. Staying home to play video games with my son sounds way more fun. Don't have to make any effort either, just have fun. My cat is giving me like the stare of death. Like, how dare you finish every last one of those off? Yeah, like that. I'm sorry, bud. You can't. You have your kitty treats. I give you some already for afternoon and morning, but I'll give you some more later. But yeah, if I just keep giving you snacks non-stop, you're just gonna get gigantor. All right, all right, all right, all right. AI is inherently a cliche machine. It's helpful for coming up with ideas, but it can't just produce a really good product, in my opinion, because of the law of averages. It literally just generates the most average. That's a good way to put it, Bryce. I like that. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, the only thing, like, again, my opinion about AI is that it's I feel like it's good for when it's creating those like kind of real life looking pictures of what ifs. Like, what if Berserk was a 1980s dark fantasy movie? Like, I really like AI for that because it's stuff no one's ever going to make. That's stuff like no one's ever going to take pictures of. No actor's going to sit around for that. Nobody's going to put makeup on for that. But you can use AI for that to get it done in like a couple minutes, which is awesome. Um, some of them start to get absurd where it's like, what if Harry Potter was like a hardcore bodybuilding movie about like ripped Harry Potter and, you know, muscle mommy Hermione and stuff. You're just like, okay, all right, we're getting weird now. But what was the other one that was like the fashion one? What was the fashion one they made? It wasn't Dolce and Gabbana. It was God. It's like a controversial fashion company. Um God, what's the name of it again? Anyway, like they made that whole like fashion version of like Harry Potter. That was pretty cool. I like that. All right. Eric, what did you say here? By the way, welcome, Eric. Glad to see you back again. I do remember Trapper Keeper. I still have 4 of them full of cards and art and other stuff I filled them up with. Eric, go listen. There's like a documentary on the woman who created all those designs. It is a wild documentary about like her life and how kind of like crazy, kooky, scandalous she was. It's very interesting, and like how they went out of business eventually too. I recommend checking it out. I was kind of shocked when I found out the lady behind like the rainbow unicorns and giant 3D reflective prismic triangles with floating eyeballs and stars and stuff like that. It was pretty interesting to learn about. Um, Generic soulless versions of things. Yeah, that's kind of what AI puts out. I'm outside every day framing wood buildings. I'm in Okinawa. Now the fan fest is a must. It works, but sweating enhances the cooldown. Really? Okay, okay. Thank you for answering that, Daddy Tube. I always kind of wondered about those. So in Okinawa, for sure, you're like, dude, you gotta use it or you're gonna die. All right, very, very interesting. You guys should see these. They're jackets that have a built-in air condition and like, you wear them and they puff out because they're filling up with like cold air and pumping out the hot air. And they have like a little like power pack that like connects to it like you would have for like a battery charger, just like your phone. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. I asked about if you knew about SDAs. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Wow, now you call it SDAs. I never heard it like reduced to that. That's interesting. I asked about if you knew about SDAs because it was at a time not as commonly heard about Christian denomination. I think is what you were trying to say, right? Not domination. I don't think they're into BDSM. out there. They were considered to be a cult among Christian circles. Interesting. I didn't realize that. Just curious. Oh, okay. All right. No, hey, and it's totally fine question. I one time the only Seventh-day Adventist I ever met and hung out with was when I lived in Boynton Beach. I used to go running for like I do like a lot of running back then because Boynton Beach was kind of like boring as hell. It was a pretty boring place. So I'd go for like 45-minute to 1 hour runs every day. And one time this guy about my same age, I think I was like 19 or 20, he like saw me in the truck. He's like, "Hey man, you're running every day. You need a partner to run with?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, if you want to." And like he was really fast. In fact, he was so fast that like I couldn't keep up with him, and it was like um pretty torturous to run with him for the one time I did. And he told me about being a Seventh-day Adventist and that like that there's and like correct me if I'm wrong, I'm no expert, but like he believed like going to college was worthless and pointless and that the world was going to end soon to anyway, so like why put a lot of time into like education and things like that when like you can just work a job now and save up some cash to like take care of yourself for now, but be ready for the world to end and stuff. And I thought like, this is interesting. I didn't know about all this, but it kind of sounded almost like the rapture, the idea of the rapture he thought was coming or something. I don't know. Hey, to each their own, whatever you believe, as long as it's not hurting anybody, I don't care. It's fine. But I don't know. He was really fast. He was a good runner. He was so fast that I just didn't run with him anymore because his pace was like I just wanted to get a decent workout in, and he looked like he was like after winning some sort of imaginary race. I couldn't keep up. He was too fast. Goddamn, you finally gave in and got a big chug. Yeah. Yeah, Alejandra, I kind of got sick of filling up the tiny bottles over and over and over again. It like became like a weekly job, where I'd have to like write it down and like put aside time to. I was filling up like a crazy amount of bottles too. And then it didn't really matter because I'd drink one and still be like super thirsty and have to go back for another and then another and then another. Like I'd drink like 4 to 6 of them almost every day just because I'd be dehydrated by the end of the day. And then it was just kind of like, why don't I just make myself a gallon instead? What am I doing? AI wouldn't write something like Death Note. No, AI would write something like, um, Normie Life Note. When I write inside of this book, you will have a normal, everyday, middle class, white collar, vanilla life. Blah. I'm gonna grab some milk and I need to get my son some food. And you guys need anything? You want me to bring you guys some kind of, you guys hungry or thirsty or anything? Let me know. Write it in the chat. I'll come bring it. All right, I'll go get you some bacon, buddy boy. Watch out, Deco. Deco. Where are you? I don't want to run you over. What are you doing? Ugh. How is it? Is it nice and cool out? Oh yeah, feels good. Let's open the door. Open them doors, son. Feels good. Thank you, Dad. All right. Well, are you tired? Are you sleepy? Maki, are you sleepy? Are you okay? Yeah. You don't feel bad or anything? You okay? Yeah. All right. Well, are you tired? No, I'm hot. You're hot? Yeah. For real? Are you really for real hot? You feeling hot? You don't feel like you have a fever. You feel okay? Yeah. All right. I'm just kind of shocked you're not playing Minecraft. Why are you not playing Minecraft? I'm kind of like tired because, like, like you lay down and watch too much YouTube. Yeah, you start to like your body, like, kind of like slow down and want to sleep, right? Yeah. I know. That's because that's what I watch it every night before I go to bed. Is helps me calm down and pass out. All right, how much bacon do you want? Would you like super hungry for a bunch of bacon?
Like 3, like 5's okay. 5's okay.
5? Okay. You want any pickles or anything? Eh?
Ooh, that's a spicy man.
All right, bud. Where do you want me to put it here? Don't drip grease all over the floor. You're not putting it. Don't let it sit around. Hey Alexa, turn on the kitchen.
Okay. How was it called? Rat soup.
Watch out, Tickle Bobo. Hey, make sure you eat that bacon, okay, bud? Don't let it cool down and get gross. Bacon gets pretty nasty when it cools off. Itchy. Itchy, itchy, itchy. I got the scratchy. We're 8 o'clock, we're getting there, but the weekend disappears so fast.
Look,
Where did I
tomorrow's meat to yoga.
Yeah. It's alright, it's alright. I got a week coming up. I shouldn't complain. I gotta stay there till 7:30 at night saying next week. Hey Alexa, turn off kitchen.
Okay.
Temperature. What you doing? Thank you, baby. I love you. All right. Uh-oh. What am I stuck on here? That's what's stuck on. There it is. Okay. Oh. All right. What do we do here? There we go. Oh. All right. Time to stand up. Getting too sleepy, baby. All right. pull this up. There we go. Oh, shoot. I didn't put this back. How's this taste? Yummy for your tummy? All right, excellent. Well, I'm glad to hear that. All right. All right. No ham or shelves. Yep. That's my rule at my house. No ham, no shelves. What does that mean? Yeah, my cat is a chunky boy. He's a complete unit. I escaped a Seventh-day Adventist church. Mine didn't like health insurance, vaccines, no makeup, no hair decorations or jewelry, no ham. What? Wait, what happened? Dang it, in the middle of me reading that, someone hit a message and it went past. Ah, shoot. My dad dislikes Crystal Light. He calls it Crystal Meth? What? Okay. All right. Dang it, what happened with that? I want to read the rest of Mossum's thing she was writing. All right, is Mossum a girl or a boy? I think a girl, right? I don't know, Mossum. I've never... I've always... My dad likes... What happened to the thing I was reading about how you escape the... Ah... Dang it. I got all lost now. Dang it, I can't find it now. Oh, who's this? Leah Sanma. Say I moved overseas since 16 years. How is it when we go back home? Are we happy for 3 months and then hate everything about it? God, that's a good question, actually, Leah. Oh, and Yachty. Would you commit fraud? Yachty, I don't think I would. I mean, fraud, what kind of fraud are we talking? I don't think any kind of fraud's really a great idea. I wouldn't recommend it to anybody. I've definitely seen some people go to jail for it. That's a bad idea. Wow, that's a wild question. Would you commit fraud? I don't know, Yachty, would you commit murder, dude? What's That's a wow. I mean, hey, I said ask me anything, so Yachty did it, man. Good for you, Yachty, dude. You know, hit me up with the weird ones. I like it. Okay. Eric, you had a long day, man. I hope everything's okay, man. I hope you're able to chill out. Tim, you're saying okay. You say I could get used to the metric system when it comes to distance, but I'm pretty done with American standard for volume. Okay. One I've never fully understand is what is up with the UK's use of stone. Like that's one system where it's like, yeah, he's 7 stone, and I'm like, what is a stone? How many pounds is a stone? Hey Alexa, how many pounds is a stone?
1 stone is 14 pounds.
Why 14? So I'd be like, that's too much math. I hate it. To convert stuff from stone to pounds. Gosh, I always miss like a couple questions and I go back and look at them. Oh, okay. All right, here we go. I die a little, lose 3. You die a little? Don't die, Daddy Tube. I die a little, lose 3 kilograms a day ago. home, eaten, gain 2 kg back, sleep, repeat the process. Yeah, it's hot in Okinawa as a bill. Yeah, God, that'd be brutal. At least Okinawa has like central air condition, don't they? The rest of Japan, it's like pretty rare to have central AC. AI is just an assistant. Okay, yeah, okay. It says I got disconnected from chat, and that sounds great. No harm or shelves. Sounds odd. Wait. That means I missed the thing that. Where was the thing that Mossum was telling me about? I want to find that thing Mossum wrote about being a Seventh-day Adventist. Sing us a lullaby, Sky. You do not want me to sing you a lullaby. It's just going to turn into a nightmare. No name. Got any good dad jokes that really annoy your kids? Have you heard about corduroy pillows? Well, they're making headlines. Wah, wah, wah. The investigative judgment according to the biblical prophecy actually began during 1844, but has not finished due to the people of God not fully reflecting the character of God to the universe. Whoa. Yeah, I'm awesome. Yeah, I'm sorry. I honestly, like, it was really interesting, and then someone put like a comment in there, and it moved it down. Yeah, like, it was nobody's fault for putting in a comment. Okay. Am I like somehow missing it? Like, you see me going back through, right? Matthew Escalona. I'm sorry I missed it. When I first started working for Amazon, oh. No, dude, it has to be like erased or something. Did it get deleted? You see me going through this again and again trying to find it, right? Am I crazy? Oh, so okay, that is like a normal thing for Seventh-day Adventists to talk about, be like just being ready for the end of the world. I was super confused. So look, like, I'm wondering if like somehow it got deleted when chat disconnected for a second, because do you work out a lot? It seems like over the years you have stayed in good shape. Do you have a workout plan, or have you advice on fatherhood or videos to refer to? Actually, recently I haven't put out like a video on working out in like a long time. I will say Dubstep Rock God. First of all, I like the name. I do actually plan on putting out more videos that sort of. Oh no, my fountain, the engine's gonna burn out. Hold on, I gotta pour water into my fountain, or it's gonna like burn itself out from having no water. How did that much water evaporate that fast? I don't get it. That's so weird. I don't understand how that much water could have evaporated from it so fast. So weird. Okay, so yeah, one thing I plan on doing is implementing more of my connection now to like how I live my lifestyle based on like what I got used to in Japan, whether it be like connected to like Shintoism or connected to Japanese lifestyle or culture, or and like, yeah, kind of working out kind of ended up like that. Like, you'll sometimes see Japanese like bust out into like a lunge in the middle of like the workday or something like that, or like go up to like a fence post and just start to do like stretches and stuff. And I always used to think, I'm like, well, that's weird. It's kind of strange to just be doing in public. Okay. But he also noticed they're like in pretty good shape all the time. So just like I started to notice, like, hey, Japanese people don't tend to like snack around the clock nonstop. And they also fit in like a little bit of like activity to keep themselves sort of balanced. And I started to realize that too. I was like, okay, like the reason I always end up getting out of practice with exercise and stuff like that is because I put it aside either in the morning or in the evening as something I need to dedicate like a half hour to an hour to, depending on the amount of a workout. And I just feel like you need to just learn how to incorporate it a little bit throughout your day so it doesn't feel like a task that you absolutely have to section out of your day, like a point where you're like, oh, I'm not looking forward to that. I'm already tired. I want to have to do that hour workout when I get home. And like, let's say you only get halfway through the workout. You do like, you fit in 15 minutes here, 15 minutes here, and you're like, oh, shoot, I still had more to do. But at least you did some of your workout for the day. You don't feel totally defeated, like, oh, I can't believe I missed an entire day of working out. Also, I would highly suggest you make your workout something more based on body weight than anything else, because then you have no excuse. You can't do this like, well, I'm on vacation and this hotel does not have a gym, so what can I do? And it's like, you still got your body with you. Your body is your gym. You can keep yourself completely in shape with like body weight based exercises. All these people talking about like fancy equipment and supplements and all this stuff, you can add that to your workout if you want to. You can add all that stuff. That's fine. But you got to remember, the more you complicate it, the harder it is to get yourself in the mindset to go through that complication. Like it should, yeah, okay, so I'm not crazy, all right? I don't think it's getting deleted. That was weird because like literally as I was reading it, like the chat pushed up and then I tried to scroll back up to finish reading it. And like I thought what had happened is I thought someone had typed something big enough that it had like pushed the chat up so that I couldn't see it. But yeah, I mean, I've gone through the chat again and again trying to find it. I don't know. Look, awesome. It sounds like a very personal story. If you're at all uncomfortable talking about it, it's totally okay. But I was like, really, it was honestly quite interesting to me. I was really interested to hear your story about this. So if you're okay with it, would you mind typing it again? Because like I was kind of like, wow, this is a journey. I don't know. I feel like situations like that can teach everybody a little bit about maybe there's something you need to escape from too. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. Slayer Duck, you're not wrong. Like I had one today. I was having a chat with one guy today who didn't like my stuff that I was talking about that was like political, which I get it. I understand. I always say like if you don't like it, you don't, it's fine. You know, tell me why you don't like it. And he said something like, if you're like, oh, definitely we should give more benefits to the McDonald's worker who only makes $15 an hour and not to a starving Ukrainian soldier only able to eat out of a can in the trenches. And I remember I started to write something back to him. I was like, yeah, but what if that guy was like a single black father with 3 kids that he was trying to sustain on $15 an hour from McDonald's? And like Google deleted the whole conversation in the middle. Like as I typing my comment reply to him, I hit send and it's like error, and I'm like, why is there an error? And then I went back and checked, and like they had already like censored the conversation. Like they just decided, oh, now it's censored, and I'm just like, what the hell? And then so I tried to go back into my comments held. Like you have a section in your YouTube studio. And the thing is, like, unless people have their own YouTube channel, they don't ever get to see this like behind the scenes stuff that happens with what they decide and choose is okay for YouTube. So I went in there to see if it was holding the comment, and it wasn't. I couldn't find it anymore. So either number one, the guy deleted the original part of the thread where that makes us lose everything, which I also don't like. But also number two, me in the middle. No, I don't think anybody was upset, right? Guys, like nobody was any. I don't know, like okay, mods. None of the mods like deleted it, right? If you did, like, okay, it's okay. It's okay. I'm not mad, but message me like personally. Hit me. I'm gonna, I'm private on Discord, okay? Like, hit me up and let me know. And like, if it really is something that like disturbed you, like, let me know. We'll talk about it. But I really feel like what Mossum was saying, I think there's a lot of things in life where we might be, getting abused by something, and we need to learn how to leave it, get away from it. And I'm not saying it's like a bad relationship or a bad religion or a bad creed, code, whatever. But I feel like stories like this are really good to relay. Okay, so let me read this before something happens. Basically, no health insurance, no vaccines, caffeine, jewelry, makeup or tattoos, restrictive clothing. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I didn't know they had all this stuff. Also on the Sabbath, all you're allowed to do is pretty much pray and study. Blech. Worst religion ever. I don't like it. My apologies to all you Seventh-day Adventists that are watching the channel right now. I know I have a huge SDA following. I'm sorry, but guys, I don't like it anymore. That's crazy. The SDA Church is about preparing God's people for the last days before Jesus' return. They believe it is God's present truth and his phase to save mankind. That's so funny, like, because I'm thinking about it like, okay, so we're so conceited that we think the first things God's going to save is like humankind. Who's to say there isn't aliens out there that are about a million times nicer, better, happier, more praiseworthy of God than we are? Why wouldn't you save them first? Surely we're the most Cro-Magnon troglodytes still around that he's created, where we're still killing each other over invisible sky daddies. I went to that place to try and find community and a sense of comfort, and after pretty much being force baptized, I was the most depressed I've ever been in my life. Holy hell. This is quite frankly a pretty amazing story, Mossum. I'm just the strength you showed in, like, number one, like, you're able to reflect on this and see, like, I don't know if a lot of people would come out and just admit, like, I actually went seeking this out, realized I had made a huge mistake, but then also had the strength to break away from it. This is like a really powerful message and story. That's why I wanted it back out here on the. I can't do anything as a mod right now. New place, no internet on my laptop. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like no mods try to delete anything at all. I mean, my mods, the people who I have as mods are people who would never try to censor. I mean, unless you were going like straight out hardcore racist, I don't think they would try to censor anything. We've never really had, I don't think we've ever had a situation where we've ever modded anything. I got one pep card. Hold on. the Bible does give indications of other worlds, and so it isn't just for people upon this earth, but all of his beings, which like I'm totally open-minded to. Like, look, I'm not an atheist. Like, I believe there's something out there. I don't know if it's like, I don't necessarily believe that it's like an invisible sky daddy with a beard and holy robes and stuff floating above us with his hands wide open. But I believe there's far more beyond what we have in this mortal coil that we have no clue about. And I think it's also ignorant of us as humans to imagine we do know what's beyond. I think it's quite frankly arrogant that we create these rules that God has made for us on earth. It's like, no, pretty sure God made these rules. He's going to come back and do all this stuff. And I know because like God spoke to me, and it's like, wow, really? Are you sure about that? Because quite frankly, I would imagine he has plans, or it has plans, or whatever God is has plans that we could barely wrap our mind around. I mean, even the idea of infinity, of infinite life. I mean, we don't fully understand that. Like, we don't. We say we don't. No, we know it is living forever. And like, no. One that has no end or no beginning. It's just always existed. Explain. You can't. And if there's minor things like that we can't fully wrap our mind around as far as God-type powers are concerned, whatever you want to call them, spirituality, holiness, bless. I don't know why other people are trying to put their human-made rules onto a being that's not human. It makes no sense to me. Oh, this is what he did. I know because like I've talked to God. I totally understand how gods work. No, you don't. If this thing that we call a god exists, if there is some kind of being that is a god, like if we don't understand how that works at all, the same way like, a penguin doesn't understand civil engineering on modern human highways and stuff like that. Like if you're talking about something you have absolutely zero experience with, you've never been beyond this world, you've never met a god in life, you've never hung out with any afterlife situation, you've never been part of any kind of plans any kind of god has created for the future, you've never helped creating those plans for the future, you've never created any kind of miracle or anything like that, you've never done any of these holy works that God does. You haven't turned like, 2 loaves of bread into 1,000. All right. You've read about it. You've heard about it. You've never experienced it. And to say that you can, will, or have, or are a vent in between, a communication in between, a preacher there within, or have answers thereof, so arrogant of us as humans to imagine we can conceive and hold the concepts of a being with a presence, mind, body, spiritual existence, astral, multidimensional existence. Like we don't have any idea how any of that works. Like, and to pretend like we do, or to say like we're a representative of that, I feel is very arrogant. And it's one thing I do not respect about religion. I don't hate religious people. I don't hate religions. I have my own religious beliefs and follow a bit of Shintoism and Christianity too. But I feel we as humans are the most arrogant in the fact that we try to create God in our own image. Whereas the Bible says God created us in his image, we keep thinking we need to return the favor, which is ignorant and arrogant of us. Oh, okay. So, awesome, this is an incredible story, man. Clay, LMAO, how come no matter what color the shampoo is, the lather is always white? Actually, Hold on, I got food all over the floor now. Actually, if you wash yourself with medical shampoo like I have for like severe dandruff, it turns orange. So you're wrong. You can go to the doctor and have it prescribed for you. I'm sure they'll give you some. It has an orange lather. If you guys have ever seen like flaking on my head or like scars or something on my head, I have like really bad skin on my head. And my mom and I both have to use like special medical steroid-induced shampoo to keep our heads healing just from simply combing them because like the skin on the top of our head is like very like soft and it'll get gross really quick. Sky Daddy. Seek says, sorry what happened to you, Mossam, and I think it is often the case, as it has been for me too, that people in church don't represent God. Seek, well said, very well said. And like, look, again, I'm not an atheist. I do believe in a presence beyond, like, but if I were to say what that presence was, if I were to try to create that, at most it would be like a glimmer, a glimpse, but it would be nowhere close to what really does exist beyond this. You know, no one gets out of life alive. No one's come back to tell us, this is what I've seen, this is what it looks like. And humans attempt to constantly create the being that supposedly created them, I feel is like the most disgusting thing humans can do. And to pretend on Earth that they have some kind of answer or something that is beyond Earth. This is disgusting. Like, you know, you can talk about how to live, morals, a compass to life spiritually and stuff like that. I think there's nothing wrong with that. But to act as though you have a representation of what a godlike being would be by telling about the image, the works, the miracles, the rules, because you've created them as, I don't know, a preacher, a reverend, a vicar. I don't know why people think this is okay. That like, oh yeah, I know all about God. Let me tell you, he's like a big bearded man who walks amongst the clouds and grants peace to those who are able to worship him and know that his true word is the real one. And if you don't, well, he has to condemn you to hell because he's so vain that if you don't love everything about him and follow everything he does, he gets real pissed off and offended and says, well, you're just a shitty friend, go to hell. Like, what? Can you imagine? Like, even though he's a god, even though he's like far beyond our existence, he's just so petty and vain that like if you don't worship him, he's like, oh, you suck, dude. Like, after everything I made for you, now you won't even be like, yo, God, what's up? Hey, I totally love you. Well, you suck, bro. You're not part of my club. Go to hell. Okay, so actually, Pepguard, you did have that question. Hold on, let me answer that question. That was a really good question too. Talking about groups, religious themes. Do you have any stories about Japanese joining sects? Sex as in SECTS, guys, just to be clear. I watched a video about a group promising you would find a wife within the cult. Yeah. I have had weird cultish people that I've met in Japan. One of the worst ones is there is a Buddhist cult. And this does not represent true Buddhism. In general, Buddhism is not a proselytizing religion. They don't really believe in proselytizing. So this is kind of a dogmatic and quite frankly heretical view of Buddhism, this type that exists. I forget what it's called exactly, and quite frankly, I don't want to promote it, so I'm not going to even look up the name right now. But they believe in ferocious proselytizing of their version of Buddhism. And it's just a money scheme. I mean, you have to donate all this money to be like on different levels of their Buddhist level holiness and everything like this. And the closest I ever got to, whoa, almost lost the top of my bar. Closest I ever got to, I mean, I wasn't looking to join or going up. I went for a job interview one time for an English company that was owned by that religion. It paid pretty good. The hours are pretty reasonable. The location was nearby. I'm like, ooh, this is a good setup. The only thing is, I had to go to their Buddhist church every weekend if I joined the job. Definitely heard the needle come off the record when I was told that. I was like, what? They're like, yeah, it's just like a community thing. Like, so I'm like, all right, so I have to work 5 days a week, but then I also have to come in on Sundays and work too. And they're like, no, it's not work. It's just hanging out. Like, you just got to go to our like ceremony that happens every Sunday. And then after you can just hang out with like the parents and the kids so I'm like, so I have to see the people from work like on Sunday then too, right? So it's really only like one day off, right? And they're like, no, it's not a work day. You don't have to be there to work. But I'm like, you have to come there and be like dressed real nice and like, put on your business face. And they're like, well, of course we want you to act appropriately. And I was like, nah, not interested. I walked out of the interview. I was just like, okay, so it's like some kind of church connected. And they're like, it's not church. It's Buddhist ceremony. And I'm like, nah. Not interested. No, thank you. The weirdest thing, you want to hear the weirdest thing about that cult? Orlando Bloom is one of their members. From Lord of the Rings, he's one of their members. I believe also, I could be wrong about this, but I believe also, dang it, I forget the actress's name. I can't remember now, but there's a bunch of people that you might find out are like part of that cult that you're like, really? Weird. It's almost like Scientology, how they like try to get rich and powerful people to get less rich and less powerful people to join because they're like, ooh, I want to be like that person. Yeah, awesome. Powerful story. And like Seek said, I'm sorry to hear like that happen, but I'm also proud of you for being strong enough to take a step back from yourself and that situation and see that leaving it was the best choice to continue to live your life in the way you saw fit. That's a very powerful thing that there's so many people who go through life confused as to why they're depressed, like you spoke about, when they don't even see that depression is a leash around their neck being led by the people they detest the most. And they just refuse to admit that. And they're just like, I don't get it. Like, I pray every day and like I hang out with these people every day and I'm still so depressed. I don't get it. Why isn't like God healing the pain away? And it's like, are those people you're hanging out with, like, do they compare other people to your religion, your situation? Do they constantly see negativity that they can judge themselves against? Oh, have you seen they're very unholy? And I saw like they were wearing some scantily clad clothing that showed off just, their full bare arms and the legs all the way up to the knee. And that's just, whorish in that sort of situation. I don't think I would ever be allowed at church. Um, the idiots who think they can convert you by like being like, I've got a question for you. When you die, do you know where your soul is going to go, to heaven or hell? It's like, what if I don't believe in either? Get out of my face. I deleted my own message because of a typo. I've done that before too. Alejandro, this is a great point. I think we would lose our sanity if we knew God, God's plans, etc., yeah, it wouldn't fit inside of our mind. Okay? Like it wouldn't work. Like that's no matter how much you try to explain this concept to some people who are like really almost cultish in their following of a religion, like they can't admit this. They can't be like you're creating a being in your mind that is like so above and beyond anything humans are capable of. Couldn't you imagine that like trying to be capable of that in our human mortal coil would be destructive? Like it just wouldn't be possible for us to even conceive of or handle mentally or physically. So like why are we trying to contain that holy, magnificent, beyond our world being into these human constraints? I mean, it's really disrespectful if you think about it. I mean, it's demeaning your own God by saying like, oh no, he picks and chooses who goes to heaven and hell, and he only has these black and white choices of like good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. He can't see gray. There's no such color as gray to God. And they're like, wow, sounds very simple-minded like you. Like that's what kind of blows my mind. It's just like you realize like you're putting a very simple solution to a mind that's supposedly far more complex than anything here on Earth. What? If I was your God, I'd be pissed right about now. Removed for typo, church wasn't friendly to LGBT, felt unsafe and invalid, questioning my gender and sexuality. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, Mose. That sounds awful. That's what I don't understand either these days. Like, that people think they can judge others by what they think God is judging others for. They'd be like, oh, God doesn't like, gays or homosexuals and stuff like that. I was like, oh, no, wait. You don't. I get it. I understand. For some reason, you don't approve. But why are you speaking for God? Like, how do you know? Like, have you, and I hate these people that tell me, like, oh, God talks to me. That's how I know God talks to me. It might just be your conscious, right? Like, some people are so dumb, they don't understand, like, that voice in your head, that's just like your brain computing stuff. Like, they're like, no, I'm the special one. I'm the only one with a voice in my head that tells me what's going on. Actually, we all have that. It's called simple critical thinking. Clay, you had the same thing. You went through sort of the same thing? Hold on, dang it, you went down way too far. Well, I believe if God gave absolute evidence, then you would not have the possibility to doubt. But I think it boils down to sufficient evidence for authenticity of the Bible. Well, I mean, there's like things in life that shows us there's things that like are beyond our understanding, right? And like if those things exist, then that means there's the possibility of God existing. But I mean, there's like things that are just created that you're just like, this is just too wild and too out there. Like get into things like the holotropic universe. Get into things like this was the one book I read. It was called like not Chasing the Pendulum, Chasing the Wild Pendulum. Hold on, let me see what the name was exactly. Give me a second. Yeah, there it is. Oh, Stalking, not Chasing. Stalking the Wild Pendulum. This is a book you should try to read or try to listen to. I think it's an audio book too. Stalking the Wild Pendulum will break down things that like show a presence or an existence or a way we might exist beyond this world without boiling it down to ultra simplistic, like, well, the reason we can exist beyond here is there's a big bearded fellow who says I got these big holy pearly gates up behind the clouds here and a fire brimstone place down here, and that's what you got to choose. There's only two destinations post life. Be a good baby, all right? Be a good baby, and then you can have haha happy time or boo boo bad Barney time down here. Like, it's just like, what? You can't imagine more beyond that, because I'll bet you God can. I'll bet you God has like far more complex things that exist beyond this life. And to boil it down to like he only has this black and white choice for you post life is so negative and demeaning and disrespectful to a being far beyond our human mortal coil. It's just like, really? You're going to reduce your own, the person you're worshiping, the being you're worshiping beyond this world, is that's all they are to you? Like a simple minded, good, bad, no, no in between. Good, bad. That's it. Good, bad. He's like, wow, really? You must be really impressed with what you think of him. All right, sorry, I had zoomed past this. Clay, you said you dealt with something similar. I'm sorry to hear that too, man. Have you ever heard of Eckhart Tolle? Yeah, with Eckhart's Ladder, he talks a lot about the way the mind becomes the ego or identity. Yeah, I've actually like read a lot about like some of the stuff. Look, what I was just talking about with stalking the wild pendulum, that gets into stuff like that. What up, bro? Hey, Daniel, welcome. Sorry I missed your hello there. At the dubstep, there's a Discord. Yeah. Come join the Discord, dubstep. I'm an Anabaptist, just if anyone wondered. I only hate extremists of religion. Like, the only thing I don't like about religion, and like, I'm open-minded to any religion you are, even if you are a Seventh-day Adventist, that's fine. Like, tell us about your experience. But proselytizing is the only thing I disdain. If your religion says you have to come and force whatever you believe down my throat, I don't like it. I don't approve. It's like the only thing I won't allow here in our chat, because I don't think anybody should be forced or told or demanded that they follow a certain path just because that person thinks that path is good for them. If they think that path is good for them, great, more power to them. Go for it. Live your life. That's great. We're all happy for you. But don't expect me to want to follow that same path. It makes no sense. You know, now if someone wants to choose the same path in life, the same spiritual, religious, or creed as far as what you are following, and they ask you about it and they say like, wait, that sounds kind of interesting, can you tell me more? That's okay. I don't see any problem with that. But when people come in here, we've had it before too. We've had people come in here with like Christianity, be like, you know, Christianity is the only one true religion. And it's like, all right, hey, if that makes you feel good, go for it. But don't come in here telling us the silly things that you believe, all right, and expect us to also play along with whatever, you know, you believe. Like, oh, I almost pulled my whole, sorry, just hit the cord. Like, whatever is working for you, that's awesome. You know, for you, it's very serious. And for you, you find it something you need to follow steadfast to find balance in your life. That's great. But there's so many branches of Christianity, how you could say this one is the right one. Anybody else who follows anything else, they're going to hell. I'll never understand that. Like, of course, there's many different branches. People need to worship and understand and believe in different ways, and that's fine. But to say like, no, my branch, the one true one. How do you know that? God told me. All right. Here we go again. Why doesn't God email me? Why did he only email you? Can't he CC? You're welcome in Japanese is doi tashimashita. Doi tashimashita. Doi tashimashite. Sorry, Maki. I apologize, Micah. I'm sorry my pronunciation. I apologize, my pronunciation not as good as you. No disrespect, but if you think about it, Jesus' life is an isekai. He was reborn as a carpenter. Yeah, I think a lot of people would believe that. Agree with that. You're right too. And look, anything you believe, whatever, however it works for you, however it brings you peace, happiness, holiness, spiritual wholeness, compatibility with temperance in your life and balance in your everyday. I'm all for it, dude. That's great. And Daniel's telling us about his religion. This is fine. I don't care if people tell us about it. What does he got? God made us naked. We don't, I hate when it skips down like this. We don't have the ability to. What? Wait, what? I thought you had more to tell us, Daniel. Anyway, yeah, even with Daniel, whatever you believe, it's fine. It's cool. We're totally okay with it. In the movie It, some characters who came in contact with the clown lost their mind because he was a source of evil comparable to God. Yup. Have you ever heard of Johnny Small? Oh yeah, we just talked about this last night. This bit. We're all very happy to see Johnny Somali getting his just desserts in South Korea. We are rooting on the Japanese. We are rooting on the South Korean police and justice system. What a conservative Christian and Adventist can certainly be guilty of this is that they get very rigid. And I would say, to your point, putting it in their way about the practices in the Bible. I feel like if you want to be rigid with yourself, you're these are things I have to follow. I can totally understand that. Some people need that. They need a direction, a source of direction, a straight and narrow, delegate it to them by someone they consider holier than thou. And if that's what they need and that makes them feel whole, that's totally okay. But the problem I see is when people think that person that they're following or that guidebook that they're following is what everybody's supposed to be. I'm following it and I'm happy. I'll bet if you followed it, you'd be happy too. Well, if I don't ask about it, don't tell me. I'm not interested. Unrested, I subscribed to your channel 17th of January 2020, 2000. I'm old now? No. If you're old, then I'm really old. Calmanto, I'm 45. Are you older than 45? Because even older than 45 is not old. Oh, how old am I? I'm not 48. Have you heard about the claim that since the universe is infinitely big, that means there has to be life elsewhere? Yeah. Actually, if the universe is infinite, if it goes on for infinity, not only is there life elsewhere, but the exact same things need to be created again and again because there's only so many combinations that molecules can be in, which means there is not just other life and other life forms, but there's also Earth 2 and Earth 3 and Earth 4 and on and on. And that's what infinity means. We have other Earths out there. There's actually another Scott right now who's also called Rested. He's just called Rested. And his channel is about America, and he grew up in Japan because there's infinite possibilities of every version of you out there. I only talk about it when I'm asked. Yeah, Daniel. No, Daniel, you're fine, man. You're fine. You're fine. That's totally, and exactly. You only talk about it when you're asked, right? That's what I'm talking about. If people ask, yeah, go for it, man. We're having a discussion anyway right now about it. So of course, people coming out and telling about their beliefs. It's an open dialogue right now. Totally fine. I thought I was I appreciate that, but your name is actually welcome to the chat. Welcome to the the live stream. I don't know why my mind went blank. Salty Papa's back. Hey Scott, thanks for introducing me to Japanese horror. I even watched Tetsuo the Iron Man. That one's so good. Do you know he remade that movie like 3 times? Sorry to hear about the hurricane in your house. Hope things are getting better. Things are better because I have the most awesome viewership in all of YouTube. I think that's the only reason things got better for me so fast is my channel and viewers, the support that they gave me was just incredible. They pretty much helped me rebuild my house. And I can't say thank you enough for that. I'm gifted with, by far, the best group of viewers ever. But thank you, Softy. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it was a rough time, but these guys got me through it. That's why I'm still here online doing these streams and everything like this. I owe these guys the world, man. Nuno, what's up, dude? No Name Science published a paper on some fossil-like creatures found in Mars. Stuff like arachnids and Snellia. Cool. That sounds awesome. Not to say, of course, everyone must follow what I'm saying, but just to put that out there. Yeah, Seek, you're fine, you're fine. We're kind of just, right now, it's fine. Put your beliefs out there. We're talking about it. We're having a big existential sort of conversation. Nobody's trying to proselytize. They're perhaps just extolling what they believe and stuff like that, and that's totally fine. I'm always actually excited to. Okay, look at this. Look at this again. Chat disconnected. Please wait while we try to reconnect you. Successfully connected. This is when we lose messages. Like this has happened multiple times throughout the night, and I can tell you guys, I can see dropped frames in kilobytes per second, and they haven't altered at all throughout the night. So I don't know what this is that's going on. I feel like this is when things get deleted. Like, I don't know if it's like censorship or what's going on, but I'll just let you guys know right now. I don't delete, ban, block anything, and neither do my mod. If my mods were going to do it, they would probably approve it with me first, or it would be something so gratuitous that they like had no choice. Like if it was like extreme racism or extreme like, you know, sexism or some kind of like insane bigotry suddenly being blasted across the board. That's the only time they would take like immediate response. So if you see anything disappearing, like we just had like Mossum stuff disappear for a second there, just know none of us are doing it. And please know that YouTube sometimes has their own censorship. They decide, oh, everybody wants this censorship, so we're just going to censor whatever we want. So please know I'm never doing that. I'm never censoring anything. Every once in a while, I actually have my mods search to see if anything's like been blocked, like to see. Sometimes they can find like, oh, do you know recently like this word was blocked or this was blocked, and I'm just like, unblock it. I don't know why. I'm having a really good time on Earth 69. Nice. Skeletor. By the way, glad to see you here again, Skeletor. I'm a descendant of Thor, apparently. I believe it, Daniel. Just looking at your avatar picture, it's very Thor-esque. So that's actually something you didn't even need to tell me. I was actually wondering like when you were gonna call Mjolnir. I can't say it. Your hammer. Calling your hammer. The dogmatism that they give off, that was what I was trying to get at. But also it is their interpretation of what they're reading. Contextualization, that's what kind of warps and twists the ways of the Bible. Contextualizing it into a set of rules that you want everybody to follow, warping it into a dogmatic creed that takes and twists, which can be actually great information, a great example or suggestion of a code of ethics to live by, and twisting it into your almost brand of slavery with some of these religions. That's what's scary. That's what I hate to see. When people take the good book and they turn it into this weapon of destruction, destroying lives by melting people down into a sort of coagulating pot full of mindless do this, do that, you know, yes men and yes women. It's scary. It's scary to see stuff like that. And to call it anything less than a cult is to misname it. I'll put my beliefs out there. I think God and Satan are the same, and I also believe God is sort of a clown slash gesture that takes nothing serious, and he loves the creation of art. I guess God's a character I made up in my head. I like it. I like it. I've talked about mine before. I think God is just every soul, and they coalesce in the afterlife to make up what we call God. So it's like every time someone dies, they add another part of God. You rejoin God. And there's happiness in that because you become part of the creation. But I believe there's also levels that you have to get through before you're able to return to the being we call God. You have to learn the lessons of like how to be respectful throughout different levels of life and being. And when you've made it through these tests by going through that, recognizing, seeing how you can be the best soul you can be in that situation you're put in, which it may be everything from, a human on this planet to some sort of what we would call an alien on another planet. You have many different lessons to live and learn until you can return and understand like true ethics and a true moral compass of what God is. Now, I'm very open to the fact that I'm probably completely wrong because, again, we as humans can't fully conceive of what a God would be. For our minds to pretend like it could handle something like that is, well, like you're saying, almost clownish and jester-esque. So that's me trying to put it together as best as I can. Dub man, what's up? Hey, Sensei Scott. I prefer Scott Sensei. You got to put Sensei at the end. It's all a joke, Maki. We're joking around. I don't really believe I'm Scott Sensei here, but my son thought I was serious for a second there. Mjolnir, there we go. You got it, Tim. That's a good way to break it down, Mjolnir. The chat disconnecting has also been happening to me since last week. Yeah, that is weird because my bandwidth is not fluctuating at all. I can see it on OBS. It tells you what your bandwidth is. Yeah, most Christians will beat you over the head with 316, but forget 317. Well, I know what 316 is. What's 317? Can you tell me what it is, Daniel? I think we just die and that's it. And that's fine too, Skeletor. But I will say energy does not cease to exist. So something happens to that energy after you die, no matter what. That's the only thing we can say for sure. You die and your energy is released, but what happens to that energy? Does it just go back into the earth? Does it get spread amongst the molecules of the universe? Are you scattered into a million pieces? Do you join other parts of other energy and live a new existence in another energy form? Who knows? I think there's a creepypasta called The Egg that has to do with a deity being every person on earth. Yes, awesome. Yes, I really like that story where the person who dies realizes they're like, I'm God, but I'm also you. And you have lived like every life, and you are also God. What you doing here? Hold on. What's up, guys? It's me, Meow Rest It. I'm here back at you again with new Neko facts from Nippon. Meow Rest It. No, this is a good boy. Are you being a good baby? Hmm? You know. What do you want? Snacks? Is that why you're here? No. Oh, you're the star of the show now. Everybody's got eyes on you. That's okay. Can you take this over for the rest of the night? Here you go. Right? Yo, shush, 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 shush. Meow Rested is absolute legend. Oh, just a good boy. I'm just here for pets. I just need pets. Snacks and pets. Yes, oh no, scrubby scrubby on the neck. Give me the scritches, the scratches. Neon rested. I like that one the best. Neon rested. Another variant of Scott. Probably, yeah. In another universe right now, there really is meow rested. Would the Japanese feel bad if you call them sensei or a word that denotes status when they would call, they'd be like, no, don't call me sensei. They would definitely like probably stop that pretty fast. Um, they'd be like, whoa, why are you calling me sensei? Like I'm not the sensei of anything. Can I sit here and have you on my lap? Is that okay? Oh, oh, ugh. Hold on, let me get that away from you so you're okay. Go ahead, buddy. Go ahead. Just relax. Yeah, they actually, sometimes even if they are sensei, they don't always want to be called that, especially if they're in a casual setting. I'm gonna grab some coffee to be prepared for our talk. So if I'm late for a few minutes, you'll know why. Yeah, I'm gonna get off probably in a bit, bud, and we'll talk. Coffee sounds good. I think I'm gonna make some as well. All right. Let's see. Oh, you okay? He heard a loud sound and he jumped. He got spooked. All right. There you go, buddy. Oh. Oh. I'm the star of the show now. You okay? You just needed some attention, huh? Why you keep talking to the screen, Dad? Talk to me. Would you like to... Oh, thank you. Would you like to be addressed? Oh, thank you, teacher. No. God, no. The only time I'm actually a teacher, I feel like, is when I do art. That's the only thing I'd say I teach to people that I have a background dedicated most of my life to, have the training, have the time and the experience to truly say like it's something I know many different aspects of. I'm not going to say all the aspects of because there's even mediums I have not touched. But it's one thing I can say I know well enough to talk about on a semi-expert level. Even with when I talk about Japan or anything I talk about on here, even if I'm serious, I would say I'm not the go-to source. I always tell people don't listen to some guy on the internet when it comes to anything about Japan or living your life overseas. Get multiple inputs on that. And you're foolish not to if you don't. If you only follow one channel. What if you only followed that one channel I talked about today called the Hito Bito? You'd have like a totally messed up image of what you think Japan is. Oh, I gotta hire someone to quit my job and never find an apartment because it's hell on earth, and I better cover up every inch of my skin or people are gonna look at me awkwardly. I was like, oh boy. Always get multiple opinions. That's the only thing I can say as a teacher to those wanting to be taught. Don't listen to one teacher. Arigato, sensei, right? Yeah. You just say arigato. I don't think you do. God, I'm getting so much hair on my face. I'm getting so itchy. I'm okay. I made a full recovery. Do you think there will ever be a decent use for AI in the industry, maybe for assisting? Oh, yeah, absolutely. By the way, Nadi Nodson, welcome. Maybe it's the possum finally leaving. It's like some kind of... Ugh. Why is so much hair coming off of you all of a sudden? We're getting into winter, not into summer. Blech. I need to get your brush out, dude. Ugh. Your brush is all the way over there. You need to be brushed. Ugh. Ugh, it's getting in my eyes and everything. Ugh. Ugh. Ugh, finally it's out. Ugh. 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 I feel like I've never pet a cat before. Why are you so fuzzy right now? You got so much hair coming off of you. Usually you're not this bad. Usually I just pet you a little bit and you're okay. Brains are quantum computers and go beyond our physical brain matter. We all lose 6 pounds. No one can figure out why. Actually, it's not 6 pounds, it's 7 grams, right? I think you're confusing grams with pounds. I know what you're talking about, though. When you die, like the body loses 7 grams that go unaccounted for. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Cats can shed for winter too. Yeah, I'm finding that out right now. Ugh. Ugh. He never used to have this much hair. He used to have like way less hair until he got super healthy. Ugh. Why is so much getting up on my face right now? Like sticking to my face right now. Ugh. I think it's because you got your back to me. Usually you don't have your back to me. Usually I'm laying down and he like lays down on my stomach and then I pet him and all the hair goes backwards. But right now it's like his back is faced up to me. So as I pet him, it's blah. If I go the opposite way, he'll just get pissed off. I was raised in a Roman Catholic country, but most our traditions are mostly traced to Celtic pagan beliefs, reworked to fit Christian culture. So I see religion as an amalgamation of ancient cultures. Yeah, that's all religion is. Honestly, I believe pretty much there's really only one religion, and we've just all twisted it into like certain branches that fit our specifications that make us feel the most comfortable, which is fine. You know, whatever. Like again, like I said, whatever makes you feel the most balanced, whatever gives you the most support, whatever makes you spiritually embrace the path in life that best fits your need. That's fine. Now, when I see people try to take that need and think that it needs to be made others' needs, that's where I don't think it's fine. My husky is blowing her summer coat and getting her winter coat. I have never gotten used to it since I've had her all these years. Ugh. Ugh. It's too much. It's too much. All religions are just added on DLC to the original release. Yeah, pretty much. That's all it is. They're all, what do you call those quests? Radiant quests. They're all radiant quests. To the main quest line. That's all they are. Crazy good conversation tonight. I like it, guys. I always like it when we get really existential like this. I appreciate everybody sharing stuff like that too. Like this is really cool. I like to see people's different walks in life and different paths, and I do appreciate hearing everybody's different religions and things like that. It's very interesting to me, and what I think is the most beneficial is us all being on these different paths, following these different ways, being, I don't want to say brave, we're not being brave, but we're being open enough, and the rest of us being caring and listening enough to just sit back and let people tell, you know, what brought them on the path that they're on right now in life as far as religion is concerned. Because I really believe that. I feel like as long as you're following like the golden rule with whatever your religion is, there's no really wrong way to go about it. And I think we all kind of do, you know, we all seek the same goal at the end of the day when it comes to any religious path that we're following. We're seeking to treat others as we want to be treated, help others as we'd want to be helped, find solstice in God in the way we'd want to find solstice. And of course, you know, help others should they ask, for some sort of insight. And to have so many different people on different culture levels and different paths in life and different religions come and civilly talk about these different ways, I think is a very important thing to do. You know, even when it comes to politics or religion, I think like it's good to have a superposition and allow everyone to come together to talk about what they see, believe, think, hear, follow, as far as a creed, code, religion, etc., just to get a better understanding of the world as a whole. The more we start to understand, listen, and keep an open mind to each other, I think the closer the human race grows. And I really hope that's like the destination. All countries, all humanity is really hoping to seek out. Not bludgeon everyone into the same path, but rather listen to others' stories as we walk the same path together, right? I don't know if you're looking for a fun board game, but Descent Into is a pretty fun store. Oh, Descent Into Gaming, right? Yeah, I think I've been to Descent Into Gaming before. Not sure how far it is from you, but the owners are super chill. It's pretty close, if I'm correct, if I'm thinking of the right store. Is it okay if I pull forward a little bit, Deco? Don't be afraid. I'm just my chair does not want to go. All right, now I can grab my phone. I'm pretty sure Descent Into the Gaming is pretty close to me. Uh-oh. All right. Japanese question. Do people play shogi in parks and cafes like people do with chess in the West? They definitely play. There's like actually like special cafes that do host shogi for sure. I've never seen it done in a park, but there's definitely places where, obviously there's places where people play mahjong too. I don't know if I would call those cafes. Those tend to be like betting or like gambling places. But shogi, definitely, there's definitely special places that people play that. I've never seen it out in the park though. Oh God. Ugh. Why are you so fluffy and hairy? Why aren't you one of those hairless cats that look like a leather rug that's living? Oh, okay, bet. I just got into the One Piece TCG and they were having some event last week, so I showed up. Lost pretty. How often do you frequent maid cafes? I actually work at one. You'll notice I usually wear my maid outfit almost every weekend, and that's because I'm working my side job at a maid cafe, Dan. I'm glorious, let me tell you, in all my black and white beauty. I prefer the name Sakurako. That's my Japanese maid name. Ugh. Ah, hair, too much hair. Ugh. All right, what time are we at right now? 9:30. I think I'm gonna sign off a little bit early tonight. Um, I'm actually working on the Osoroshi a little bit more, so I want to get some of that done. Bishojo Scotto. Yep, exactly. You don't like that, Maki? My son thought that was pretty funny, Skeletor. All right, let me check what we got. Oh wow, my calling out channels that lie actually did pretty good. I'm in a union in Japan, mostly made up of English teachers. And everyone there tells us that we have a legal right to unemployment regardless of job type. But unfortunately, I can't specifically think of a teacher who has needed it. I think the reason why a lot of teachers don't collect unemployment is because they don't know they can, and no one tells them their rights. But you should be able to collect after you work for 6 months. Yeah. Collective commentary. I've talked to that guy before. Yeah, there are black companies in Japan, but her victim mentality probably stems from her vulnerability. When you understand the law, you quickly realize the new minted anti-discrimination measures that were very much in them. Very insightful. All right. Anyway, guys, again, awesome conversation. I'm actually gonna jump on. I usually do say I'm gonna jump on Discord after this. I don't know. Has anybody got the Discord link real quick? They can drop it down here. I'm gonna jump on there. I'm gonna talk to Ahmed real quick first, and then I'm gonna go ahead and jump into Discord. I'm gonna continue the conversation with you guys there. I'll probably be in general chat. All right. So join me on there if you guys want to chat a little bit longer. Okay. It's been awesome tonight. It's been fun and very interesting conversations. I love it when we get like this, very existential and philosophical. Probably tonight, on the Discord, we'll hang out, we'll talk just about whatever. We can continue this conversation or move into something else. I do kind of want to talk about like if anybody's got some good Japanese horror game suggestions. I'm back on the prowl for some good Japanese horror games. The new, I shouldn't say the new, the remake of, shoot, what's it called? Clock Tower came out, and I actually did buy that. Remember we watched the preview for that, and the music's like freaking really good, and the gameplay and everything look awesome. Well, I just bought that game. It was actually pretty cheap. I was shocked. I think it was only like $12 or $19 or something. So I think tomorrow night we may jump on that and just give it a look, see how it is, see if it's a game I need to keep or drop into the deep. We'll see how good that is, and if it's a good recommendation, maybe for a future uh, analyze, analysis in a future Osoroshi. Tonight, I actually do need to finish up a little bit with Osoroshi, and it should be coming out in about 1 week when we'll finally have a decent. I'd say it's a pretty long episode. We'll see. We'll see how it all turns out in the end after I finish editing and everything like that. I am going to be using some of the weird techniques we were talking about on here tonight with AI, how AI can create like those weird videos or weird pictures that we were talking about. Not art, but the what if ones, like what if Berserk. I'm getting like hair in my mouth, hair in my eyes. I need to get up from this. Like I'm getting absolutely doused. But like we were just saying, like, what if Berserk was a dark fantasy movie made in the 80s and stuff like that? I'm using that to recreate some of like the nightmares that I'm talking about in Japanese. And you'll see, you'll understand when I use it like that. It's not like trying to like create art that artists can make. It's more so making videos that, I mean, I guess you could hire somebody to make the video, but you'd end up spending like an outrageous amount of money and time. Whereas like AI can create these sort of mishmash, definitely not perfect, sort of goofy, wobbly, not walking right, morphing videos that really only work for dream sequences because they're really imperfect and keep switching shape and all that stuff. So I'll get your opinion on that and stuff too once we get the video out. Anyway, you guys, I want you to all have a great night, and Ahmed, I'm just about to call you, so stay tuned.